streams that we've ever done. So it is a real treat to be back doing this at a normal time. Trying to watch it on catch up, and it just kept crashing, and it was really frustrating, really annoying. Obviously, as well, I'd been at Wrestling Shop for 2 days as well, so definitely not feeling the freshest last week, but feeling really good this week, ready for this show. And what a show to be ready for, because we are going to be enjoying a show that's coming from the home of WWE. We are in Madison Square Garden. Now, Madison Square Garden is where WrestleMania 1 took place. It's where a lot of WWF shows, WWF shows, going all the way back to the day in the day, it's where a lot of their shows came from. This is home. There's no two ways about it. This is very much the venue that I think of, and I think many WWE fans think of when we think about WWE going home. That is Madison Square Garden. And countless pay-per-views have come from there. Of course, WrestleMania 10 came from there as well. I believe SummerSlam 91 came from there as well. We've had WrestleMania 20 from there. There's loads. I mean, we could go through a list of shows that have come from Madison Square Garden. We could go through a list of moments that have happened in Madison Square Garden. It's where Kane unmasked for the first time. It's obviously where we got the Bret Owen match from WrestleMania 10 and the ladder match from WrestleMania 10. It's where we saw Bruno Sammartino losing his title. I think it's where Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik as well. So really the birth, the arrival of Hulkamania, WrestleMania 1 as well. Obviously Cena at the Rumble. Do you remember when Cena came back and no one was expecting it? Talking of comebacks, Triple H, when he came back, well ahead of schedule, and obviously a massive pop when he was in his double denim. So there's been some absolutely incredible moments from Madison Square Garden. It is always a big show whenever we're there, and that's why there is just a different energy around tonight's show. Tonight feels big. It definitely feels like it's not going to just be another SmackDown. WWE always look to go big when we go to Madison Square Garden. I don't know what that means in regards of surprises, but I would expect something in regard. I certainly, if by the end of tonight we're sat here and we're like, oh, it was okay, it was a bit flat, I will be shocked, right? I'll be disappointed and I will be shocked, because this is Madison Square Garden. WWE always go big for the Garden. There's not really any other venues where WWE will talk about them as like the house shows on TV. But quite often, like whenever they're going to the Garden, it's a house show. They'll always talk on TV about, we're at Madison Square Garden this Sunday, you know, tickets still available, or what's going to happen at the Garden this Sunday. And it's just a house show, but they'll still talk about it on TV because it's that big of a venue. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Not loads to kind of break down, not loads to go through, so we can get to the chat quite quickly. There is obviously the trial of Roman Reigns tonight. So we've got the trial of Roman. We've also got Edge on the Grayson Waller effect. So that could be interesting. Haven't seen Edge in a hot minute. We've got Austin Theory against Sheamus. We've also got AJ Styles taking on Karrion Kross as well. So, yeah, plenty for us to look forward to. But let's get into the chat and see what's going down. So, Carlin, 1985, Gareth said, I'm looking forward to SmackDown tonight. Same here, bud. Shout out to you. Hope you are well. And, yeah, I think for the reasons that I just stated, tonight is definitely one that we can get excited for. Ryan Gambler, shout out to you, said, Days, how are you? Edge is back tonight. What's your prediction for SummerSlam opponent? Thanks for everything. It's a really good question. So Edge is back. We're on SmackDown. I think it's a little bit tricky because we are on the Grayson Waller effect. From what I heard, Grayson Waller is not ready to compete. He suffered a pretty big injury in his last NXT match. So we did see him kind of have a moment with John Cena, and he did take an AA, but I don't know because normally in this situation, like you'd imagine the host will turn on the guest and that will lead to a match, right? And Grayson Waller against Edge would be fantastic. I'd have no problem with that whatsoever. I don't know that he's going to be healthy in time to do that. I mean, maybe he is ahead of schedule and he is an outside chance, a real outside chance of being the person. So we'll say outside chance for Grayson Waller. I'd love it. I think that would be great. Just looking at the list. So Edge is a face. So we are looking for a heel. Austin Theory is in a feud with Sheamus. So I don't think it's going to be that. We haven't seen Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley, according to this roster I've got in front of me, has been drafted to SmackDown. Haven't seen Bobby. Don't know where he is. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go onto the SummerSlam card. So I think Bobby has got a chance of maybe coming out and confronting Edge. I don't know that that's the way that it's going to go, but as we said, we're looking for heels. Not Cameron Grimes because he's a face. Not Cruz del Toro. Not Elton Prince. We've already spoke about Grayson Waller. Not Jimmy. Not Jay. Not Carl Anderson. Karrion Kross could also be an interesting shout. Karrion Kross stands a chance of being involved. I also think LA Knight as well. Now, LA Knight's really interesting because, I mean, do you put him in a match with Edge and have him lose that match? Do you have him lose at SummerSlam? Because technically he is a heel, but again, do you want to put him in there with Edge and have the fans kind of turn in a bit on Edge? Because the fans are going to support LA Knight, whoever he faces. And I don't know, man, that doesn't strike me as the right way forward. It's a big match for LA Knight, but I don't like the dynamics. I don't like the dynamics at all. LA Knight is going to be cheered. He is, to all intents and purposes, a face. Right? Putting him in there with Edge, who has only got a few more matches left. You don't want Edge getting like mixed reactions or flat reactions or worst case scenario, negative reactions at this stage. So that doesn't strike me as a good idea at all. But LA Knight, they might just want to give him a big SummerSlam opponent. So I'll say he's got a chance, but I would much rather it be Karrion or Bobby. Who else we got? Luke Gallows, no. Martin Tedsford, no. Rey Mysterio, no. Rick Boogs, no. Ridge Holland, no. Roman Reigns, no. Santos Escobar, no. Sheamus, no. Solo Sikoa? I mean, could we look at Solo having a singles match? Maybe. I don't know that it will go that way, to be honest, though. I think he is very heavily involved in the current storyline. It wouldn't really make much sense for him to come out and confront Edge. Like, his plate is pretty full. So I'm going to say not Solo. Not Solo. But to be honest, we're not drowning in heels here. I'm going down this men's SmackDown roster that I've got in front of me. I ain't drowning in heels. So the only other one is Top Dollar. And I don't think it'll be Top Dollar. So I'm going to say Bobby or Karrion. Bobby or Karrion, outside chances of LA Knight and Grayson Waller. But I would rather it be Bobby or Karrion. And for the record, I want LA Knight to have a match at SummerSlam. This isn't that I don't want LA Knight there. It needs to be against the right opponent. And Edge has potentially got a few matches left. This almost certainly is his final SummerSlam. Do we really want him to get booed out the building? Do we really want him, like, the crowd to be a bit flat towards him? Because the crowds are going to be with LA Knight. LA Knight is so hot right now. The crowd are not going to start booing LA Knight just because he's in the ring with Edge. So, like, that's why that just doesn't strike me as the wisest way forward. So, yeah, I'm going to say Karrion or Bobby, but that's pretty fun question, Ryan Gambler. Pretty fun question. Steven said, Days, massive night. My partner is 26 weeks pregnant. I'm buzzing for SmackDown. Love the show. Steven, many congratulations to you and your partner. That's great news. 26 weeks pregnant. I mean, I don't know what that is in months, but it feels like many, many, many months. So it can't be that far away now by the sounds of things. So, yeah, very cool, dudes. Many congrats. You'll have to let us know when she's given birth. Hey, Days, massive night. Oh, I read that one. CM Punk is returning, confirmed, says Brony. Dylan says, do you think LA Knight could confront Theory after the match tonight and officially turn face? Yeah, he could do. I mean, I don't know, to be honest, if we're not just going to stretch Theory and Sheamus out till SummerSlam. I mean, even though this is Madison Square Garden, and even though I expect this match to be a good match, it could also have a bit of a screwy finish. We could see the likes of Pretty Deadly getting involved. That might force, because Pretty Deadly and Theory have been doing a few things together. So we could be seeing Pretty Deadly get involved, which could then bring out the Brawling Brutes. This could, at some point we could get another Brawling Brute, Sheamus against Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory. This thing can easily, stretch out till we get to SummerSlam. And honestly, a proper pay-per-view match of Sheamus against Theory, maybe a stipulation being involved as well. I'm really not against that. I think that could be a lot of fun. So I think for LA Knight, he doesn't necessarily need a title match. I think what he needs is a good feud. That's what LA Knight needs. I'm sure the fans want him to have a title match and want him to be a champion and want him to go on to be a world champion and want everything now. But what he needs is he just needs to get on TV consistently in a story that he can get his teeth into and build that up for a match at SummerSlam. And actually, because he wasn't at WrestleMania, I keep going through it, but he wasn't at WrestleMania. He wasn't at Backlash. He was in the crowd for Night of Champions. He did make it into the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I think we're at the point now where there's no going back. There's no way LA Knight cannot feature on that SummerSlam card. So I expect him to be there. I expect him to feature. I don't know that it will be against Austin Theory. It could do. I just look at that Sheamus thing, though, and think that there's a chance we might extend that and that is going to feature as the SummerSlam thing. And we can easily find a different person for LA Knight. And as I said, just give him an opponent. Give him someone that he can get a win over. Because winning is not something he's been doing much of. He's picked up the odd victory here and there, but he's been taking a fair few L's since he came to the main roster. So for him to get a dub and a dub at SummerSlam, that would be huge. That's where we are with LA Knight at the moment. So that would be huge. So I would be looking for him to, ideally turn face. There's no point. I mean, he is face anyway, but there's no point putting him in there with baby faces, because if you put him in there against the baby face, the crowd are going to be all over that baby face, and that's a real problem. It's a real problem. If you're trying to build up a baby face and you've got the crowd all over them because they want LA Knight to win, you ain't doing a very good job of building that baby face. Hence why I just said about I wouldn't have LA Knight edge, because I think that's the problem. That would be the issue. So, I think we can definitely look to turn him face. I think it would be in his benefit and babyface's benefit as well. Days, could we get a solo heel turn tonight, says Maca Rice. I don't... what do you mean? He's already heel. You mean, could he turn on Roman? I wouldn't be expecting that personally. I don't see him betraying Roman until at least after SummerSlam. The reason why I say that is because I think SummerSlam the odds would be 2 against Roman then. Right now you kind of need to keep the odds balanced, because if you go into SummerSlam with Usos and Solo on that side, who's Roman got? Roman's just going to be on his own. It'll be him and Paul Heyman. And I sort of think that you don't really want to tip the balance in the favor of the baby faces that much. Traditionally in wrestling, you would do the opposite. You would have the odds stacked against the baby faces. So that doesn't really like go. It's not in line with what we usually see in wrestling. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna say no turns from like Solo tonight. I would expect those to be after SummerSlam. Where we go after SummerSlam, I really don't know. I don't expect Roman to lose the title at SummerSlam. I really think that this reign is such a big title reign, and you don't need me to tell you that. But it's such a big title reign, and with WrestleMania 40 literally just round the corner, like it's the next WrestleMania. Once you get past SummerSlam, I mean, Survivor Series, you can just do a War Games, something along those lines. The B-Show pay-per-views, you know, Roman might make an appearance on them, but there's a chance he won't as well. And what else you got? You got the Royal Rumble. So really, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but once you get past Survivor, once you get past SummerSlam, there's not really any massive shows that like Roman needs to worry about. You've got the Saudi show, and they ain't going to have him drop the title in Saudi, are they? I really can't see his title reign ending in Saudi Arabia. So I would imagine they'll find an opponent for him, just like they did last year, and it was Logan Paul. So I would imagine they'll find an opponent for the Saudi show. Fine. I expect Roman to retain. And then we just, you know, do the B shows. Survivor Series will be whatever it is. Maybe War Games again. Rumble will be whatever it is. Roman will defend, but he won't lose the title at the Rumble. And really, once we get past SummerSlam, you know, I'm feeling pretty good that we're well on our way to WrestleMania. So I'm looking at WrestleMania 40. I'm looking at WrestleMania 40 for Roman's reign to end. And I wonder if WWE are thinking the same as well. I wonder if they're thinking the same as well. Mitchell said, I don't know if you saw, but it was announced John Jones against Stipe at UFC 295 for the title in November. Mitchell, shout out to you, buds. Really appreciate the support. Should be a great fight. Been waiting for that to get announced. And it's one that they teased pretty much after he won the title against Garn. And so we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So November, I mean, that is going to be huge. And actually, just take a quick moment. Tomorrow is UFC. And tomorrow is huge because this is International Fight Week, which is basically UFC's. In a way, it's a bit like their WrestleMania. They always stack this card. There's 2 title fights tomorrow, including arguably the greatest fighter in the world right now in Volkanovski, Alexander Volkanovski. He is regarded as either the best or second best fighter in the world, pound for pound right now. He is main eventing against a very tough challenge tomorrow. And then, of course, we've got Brandon Moreno in action as well in the co-main. You know, the undercard is pretty sick as well. You got Whitaker in action, Robbie Lawler in action, Bo Nickel in action. It's a pretty stacked card tomorrow. So we are doing the watch along for that. And if you have just got a passing interest in UFC, I would say tomorrow is definitely going to be one of those shows that you are going to want to watch because a couple of title fights, couple of big prospects, couple of juicy matchups, plenty of potential for finishes, 14 fights in total. And should be a really good show. UFC 290 tomorrow. Wrestle with Andy said, Days, can you believe it's been a week since Wrestling Shop and Money in the Bank? I can't, but it's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. Time absolutely flies. I genuinely don't know where it's gone, but then so much has happened in the sense of, you know, I got back and did SmackDown, and then, of course, you've got Money in the Bank on the Saturday. And, you know, there was just so much that was going on. Even the Raw was massive because obviously we were coming out of Money in the Bank. And so there was a lot of excitement around that. And then, of course, NXT with Loser Leaves NXT, Creed Brothers, you know, where are they going to pop up? I'm guessing we'll see them on the main roster after SummerSlam would be my guess. But, yeah, you know, that was big as well. And then, you know, before you know it, you turn around, it's Friday, you're getting closer to the weekend again, and this is just the way it goes. The weeks just absolutely fly. They just absolutely fly. It's pretty scary, actually, how quick time flies. E. Wilkie said, I'm going to go to SummerSlam and I might go to Survivor Series. Have a great time. Thea Iontak said, Francis is the real heavyweight champion. Christopher said, Days, Sunny is home and in the chat, but she's going to the store and will be back on. Awesome. It's great to have Sunny back around. Theory said LA should go after the US Championship at SmackDown, not Sheamus. Geordie said, Days, can't wait to get finished at work and then watch UFC. It is going to be a great night. It is going to be a great night. It's going to be a great show. I've been working away all day on my notes. There's so much to talk about. It's such a stacked card. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're starting early as well. I think the actual card, the early prelims don't start till 11. I'm looking to start about half an hour before that. Just so we can kind of go through a few things, kind of hype up bits and bobs. We always get people joining us that, don't really watch UFC for these big cards. And so I always think that that's just a nice way of like talking through the card, certainly the top end. Just, getting a bit of excitement, sharing a few thoughts, getting set up and settled for the start of it all. So, yeah, we'll be starting nice and early tomorrow. We aren't even close to Mania 40. Mania was only a few months ago, said Redemption. It won't be easy keeping Cody hot and people still caring about Roman. There's a bit of time to go. Granted, but I always think once you get to January, I mean, for me, that's when we're starting to talk about the road to WrestleMania. So even though WrestleMania is like, March or April, early April, I sort of think that January, February, March, we talk about WrestleMania so much during that period of time. And we talk about the road to WrestleMania. It's just constantly being mentioned and it just everything kind of naturally flows. I mean, the Rumble winner, of course, gets to main event WrestleMania. So I feel like we have got to just get to the end of this year. As soon as we're done with this show and we get to January, that's it. I mean, we're in the home straight then. We're in the home straight and it's just we're on that road and straight we can go to WrestleMania. So I think SummerSlam, it genuinely is going to be Roman's biggest challenge. I think it's going to be his biggest challenge. I think that it's going to be interesting to see if it is Jay. Obviously, the rumors are it will be because he pinned Roman, and they'll use that to set up the SummerSlam match. There'll be plenty of people making the argument that Jay should be the one to beat Roman. I don't think he should. But there's plenty of people out there that think that he should be. I would expect it to be a case that Jay would be cheated out of it and blah, 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 blah. And then, as I said, we'll just throw someone at Roman for the Saudi show, get to the end of the year, and then we're on the road. LA should go after the US Championship, not Sheamus, said Theory. B team, go, said Harry. Yes. I will be at WrestleMania 40. Let's go, said Trent. Thruka says Cody needs something to do after SummerSlam. They'll find something. Bray should face Roman at Payback since that's where his run started. Well, Bray needs to come back first. If he's going to come back at SummerSlam, then Bray, Roman at Payback could be totally the match we get. I wouldn't expect Bray to be the one to beat him, though. But, yep, you could definitely kind of tie that into a few years ago. WWE said Roman might lose his undisputed Universal Championship. Well, he could lose it, couldn't he? Well, he could lose it anytime he defends it. Mitchell said they need to put Cody in a fun story to kill time until Mania. Kind of like MJF and Cole. Maybe Cody, Randy, tag story, or Cody comes to Roman's aid after the Usos leave him, says Mitchell. I'm not worried about Cody. I was talking to a load of kids at Wrestling Shop Live. He is so over. WWE have been there, done it, got the t-shirt. You know, they built and maintained Bruno Sammartino for like 7 years. They built and maintained Hulk Hogan throughout the 80s. They obviously managed, well, they dropped the ball with Bret, in all fairness. I mean, I think they could have done a lot more with Bret than what they did. They just kept looking at alternatives, be it, you know, Sid, or be it Diesel, or be it Lex Luger. They were just constantly, be it Vader, they were constantly looking at other people. For some reason, they just did not want to go with Bret being the guy. And then obviously he ends up going because they couldn't even pay his contract anymore. So they dropped the ball with Bret. Bret was always massively over, certainly here in the UK. He was getting great reactions over here. And I was talking to someone at Wrestling Shop Live that was actually at SummerSlam 92. And he was saying, like, what gets forgotten about in regards to SummerSlam 92 is that the crowd were cheering for Bret as well as Bulldog. He said he was in that crowd, and, you know, history kind of makes it seem like everyone at Wembley was behind the Bulldog. But Bret had crazy support in the UK. He always enjoyed great support over here. I think he got great support in a lot of places. So sometimes, like, sometimes WWE have got to do the work to keep people going, but sometimes the wrestlers can just do it themselves. They've got that connection with the fans. And Bret would be one of those examples. But again, you know, you look at Stone Cold, you look at John Cena in particular, you look at Roman, like, they know how to do this. They know how to tell these long stories. They know how to keep this stuff going. So, well, we've got a little bit of drama. Let me disconnect this, reconnect it. There we go. Yeah, so they know how to do this. I do like your idea, though, Mitchell, about it being a fun story. I would agree with that. I do think that we could do with a fun story. So I think MJF and Cole is good. I wouldn't say it was perfect. MJF and Adam Cole, watching it on Wednesday, just sort of felt like MJF just went a little bit too into it, a bit too much into it. There's a bit where MJF gets put in a cake on Wednesday, and he's kind of on his knees, and he's like laughing to himself, and he's, oh God, what's it like? Oh, and he's acting like that. And you sort of look at it and you go, that's not MJF. That's not MJF. That's not the character that I know. Like, he just seems to be like really jovial, really happy, and it just, I don't know. It's not really sitting right. I did make the comment on Wednesday. You could make the argument, the reason why he is that way is because he hasn't got any friends. And right now he's enjoying having a friend. And that's why his guard has been let down. That's why he's just seemingly being really open and really like, oh, because he went to push. He even told us first, I'm going to push his head in the cake, so that we knew that it wasn't a turn, right? He told us, like, I said, I'm going to be funny. I'm going to push his head in the cake. And then he went and did it. Didn't do it, of course. Adam Cole moved out the way. MJF went into the cake. And then he sat there and he's like, oh God, that backfired. And as I said at the time, like, oh man, I don't know, like that bit there, it's nitpicky, but I don't care because this is what went in my head. What went in my head is, oh, I'm not sure about this. That, I think there is a line, and I think that is dancing on the line as to believability, if you will. But as I said, it would take nothing but a bit of a promo for him to just say, I'm really enjoying having a friend around. And I didn't realize how much I missed having like someone to go to the gym with, or I missed having someone to have some banter with, or whatever it might be. It would only take a promo like that to kind of make me go, okay, yeah, cool, I get it. So yeah, I agree. We need a fun story like that. I do think, though, that where you are really trying something creative, and I would say the MJF Cole stuff is very creative. You're taking a well-established MJF character and kind of really taking him out of his comfort zone, making him do things that you don't associate with him. Well, if you're going to do that, you are going to, you maybe not get everything right, but you're also gonna, have to take a few chances and whatever. And yeah, I'd like to see that for Cody. I'd like to see him out of his comfort zone. I'd like to see him involved in something different, fun. I'd like to see him, I suppose in a way, him and Bray wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Him against Bray, I mean, I know they're both faces. So I know a lot of people would be like, no, I don't want that match. But that would definitely get Cody out of his comfort zone. And actually, I mean, Bray, the opinion on Bray is very interesting at the moment because I don't think the Howdy stuff landed. And I sort of feel like, why not make him heel? You could make Bray heel. Some of Bray's best work was when he was heel. And I kind of think like you could have him go heel. You could maybe go a little bit darker with some of the stuff he's doing. And then like that could be quite interesting. I think what they're going to want to do, though, just judging on the payback thing, is maybe do Roman Bray. I do agree that is definitely a feud we could get. But until Bray comes back, we'll never know, will we? We'll never know as to what the plan actually is. But I would be down for Roman Bray after SummerSlam. And I'd be down for Cody to be taken out of his comfort zone, however we choose to do that. Pence Girl says, hi Days, hi chat. Pence Girl, shout out to you. Joshua said, Dana announced John Jones Stipe in November. Dayan said, what do you guys think is going to happen tonight in the tribal courts? There we go. It's a question for you lot from Dayan. Research with Thomas said, Days, just watched Impact's main event and it was a banger. Leo Rush, Nick Aldis versus MCMG. That's Motor City Machine Guns, I'm guessing. Thomas, shout out to you. Trust me, if Roman goes or loses the title, people will miss it, said Jamie. Nathan said, when will Bobby and Bobby Roode return? Well, hasn't Bobby Roode had like a bit of a bad injury? So I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like his time is pretty much done, if I'm being honest. I mean, what do you do with Bobby Roode in 2023? I don't know how old he is now. But, like, WWE are looking to invest in youngsters, I mean, LA Knight claimed, and he would know, but he claimed that the Max Dupree character was set up because WWE weren't sure to, like, invest in him because he's in his 40s now, Bobby Roode's 47. I mean, he is done. He is done. 47. It is retirement time. He's currently on hiatus because he's undergone neck surgery as well. 47 years old, neck surgery. He's done. He could come back, but if he comes back, he'll just be be part of a tag team. I mean, I can't see him making any moves for like world titles or even mid-card titles, to be honest. But Bobby Lashley, I think there's a chance that we may see him tonight. He is a SmackDown superstar. I'm not aware that he's out with any injury. And I'm thinking that he will feature on the SummerSlam card. Trent, shout out to you, said, Days, do you think LA Knight could now be one of the favorites to win the Rumble with how over he is currently? No. I don't see LA Knight winning the Rumble. I don't, because that would mean that LA Knight main events WrestleMania, and that's just mental. Like, the journey of LA Knight right now is that he's not consistently getting in on pay-per-views. So, like, we are so far away from, like, where he is to winning the Rumble is such a gap that, I mean, what I would say is that this has moved very quickly. As I said before, earlier this year, he was not getting these reactions. So this has happened all very fast. So fast that WWE have not been able to catch up with it. Because WWE, Triple H said they had a good few months after WrestleMania planned out already. He said that they knew where they were going with these stories because obviously there was a lot of upset about Cody not winning. And one of the responses from Triple H was, well, we know the next few months, we know the story, we're booking, well ahead of ourselves. And it's very clear now that we look back, that those plans did not include LA Knight. He was not at WrestleMania, and he really did not feature in those few months after WrestleMania either, and that frustrated the fans, and the fans wanted him. And I think that fueled this fever, LA Knight kind of momentum. I think that was not all of the fuel, but it was a good chunk of fuel that was thrown on this LA Knight fire, because there's people out there that want to see him given a chance, right? And want to see him being used, and they want to see him, and they want to cheer when he comes out and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, right now, we're at the point where he has managed to qualify for Money in the Bank and have a decent showing. And so now the hope is that he's going to be on the SummerSlam card. I can't see any way that he won't be. I think that Triple H has heard those pops in London, on SmackDown, during Money in the Bank. I think the numbers, I've got to think that the merch sales are good. I've got to think that searches on YouTube's good. I've got to think that all these things are looking good for LA Knight. But, the next step would be putting him in a feud, wouldn't it? The next step would be him going into a feud, him being, given more TV time, proper TV time, proper segments. Not just here's a match once in a blue moon, but proper segments, proper TV time. I think for him to get to the point where he's then a favorite to win the Rumble. Don't forget, winning the Rumble means you're main eventing WrestleMania. I mean, this is mental. This is mental. No, I really don't see him main eventing WrestleMania. I don't see him winning the Rumble. I think he could have a decent showing in the Rumble, and I could see him being eliminated in the Rumble and people being disappointed. But I think that what we've got with LA Knight is something that is going to have to be stretched out. And, there may have to be a mid-card title run in there first. The other thing as well is that WWE need to make sure this isn't just a flash in the pan. WWE need to make sure that this isn't just flavor of the month, because there is a chance, a very small chance, I would say, because I don't think he is, but there is a very small chance that we could see LA Knight actually being replaced by someone else, another flavor of the month comes along, someone else comes along that grabs people's attention, that people get behind. Just like with Cody, you had Sammy. And so, the crowds were into both of those. We could see someone else emerge. I can't tell you who that would be at the moment. I mean, I really like Grayson Waller, but I don't know that Grayson Waller's going to get the same reactions that LA Knight's getting, but I think he's quite charismatic. But, WWE are going to need to, put him in some feuds, give him some pay-per-view matches, see if these reactions are going to maintain. I think they will, right? I don't think he's flavor of the month. I don't think this is flash in the pan. But these are the kind of things that WWE will be looking at and thinking. Because if you're going to, have him win the Rumble, have him main event WrestleMania, this needs to be legit, right? This needs to be legit. And right now, they will be seeing a lot more data than what we're seeing. I don't know what his YouTube videos look like. I mean, I don't know if the videos of LA Knight completely eclipse everyone else, right? It might be that they do okay, but not amazing, right? And then, that would be an argument that maybe it's fun for people in the arena to cheer when he comes out, but maybe he's not quite as over as kind of what the cheering suggests. Because that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because with LA Knight, when his music hits, the crowds, I think, are conditioned now to pop, right? Because you've seen it venue after venue after venue after venue. But for people watching at home, right, they are obviously not there. So are they going to pop and react and be like, oh my God, it's LA Knight, let's go? You know, how is that showing in merch sales? How is that showing in Google searches? How is that showing in YouTube views, etc., etc., etc.? I actually don't know. I don't know the data on that. WWE will, and this is the kind of stuff that they're going to be keeping a close eye on. So I would say like Rumble is going to be like too soon for like giving him that and giving him a WrestleMania main event and all that kind of stuff. But if this maintains, maybe then Rumble in 2025 could be a possibility if this maintains. But I would say Rumble 2024 would be too soon, personally. But Trent, fun question. It's an interesting one to tackle, get our teeth into. Ace5461 said, Days, why are champs such as Roman part-time? They should be there every week. They're the champs. So, like, when you get to be in the champion, and this doesn't happen all the time, but when you're getting to be in the champion, obviously you are very valuable, right? If you are someone that the company is taking a chance on, right? Like Jinder, you know, Jinder can't afford to really turn around and say, right, I want to work a reduced schedule, blah, 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 blah. I'm the champion, blah, 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 blah. Because WWE were doing Jinder a favor by giving him that belt, right? They wanted someone to help them break into the Indian market, and Jinder was going to be that person. But Jinder was in no position to negotiate a reduced schedule. Roman Reigns is in a very different position to Jinder Mahal was. Roman Reigns is a monster when it comes to ratings, when it comes to merch, when it comes to importance. Yeah, we're talking about the biggest superstar in wrestling, Roman Reigns. I mean, he is a big deal. Which means that when it's time to negotiate contracts, if he wants a bit more family time, he can do it, you know? I want to work 30 dates a year. I want to work 35 dates a year max. 30, 35 dates. Everyone else can do 50 odds. I want to do 30, right? I want X amount of money as well a year. Give me a contract for like 3 years, something like that. Whatever the negotiations are, Roman is in a very powerful position to be able to negotiate, right? WWE do not want to lose Roman Reigns. And so if it means that you have to tie him down to a contract where he only works 30 days, then so be it. So be it. And so, you know, that is the situation WWE find themselves in. You obviously can't do that with everyone. I mean, someone like Gunther, who's the IC champion, is, you know, there all the time. Someone like Seth, who, you know, probably could push the boat a little. Seth's quite important, but he's not Roman. But he, I think, just loves it. I mean, I think he just, you know, I think it helps as well because don't forget, Seth's wife is on the road. Seth's wife is Becky. Roman's wife is not in the industry. So Roman, when he's away, doesn't get to see his wife, doesn't get to see his kids. Whereas I think Becky brings their daughter on the road quite a bit. And so Seth has got his family with him quite often. So, you know, that's a different situation as well, isn't it? So there's a few things that are at play. But it's not just the case that, like, once you're champion, your contract goes down. It's obviously on a superstar by superstar basis. But what I would say is that when you are champion, you are in a much stronger negotiating position. And that's exactly what Roman has done. Roman, Brock, Usos are the reason I still watch WWE, said Raging Demon. But other than that, it's not the same. It's like everything in the modern era lacks soul and uniqueness. Febin said, any chance LA Knight could do a Daniel Bryan? Sure, yes. But I wouldn't say that would be for next year. Because if you remember Daniel Bryan, he was held back. I mean, really, him losing, I think, was it WrestleMania 28 in like 20 odd seconds to Sheamus. People were upset with that. And people felt like Daniel Bryan had been really wronged. And for me, I mean, there was a respect for Daniel Bryan before that. there was a love for Daniel Bryan before that, but I think it's that match at 28 that really changes things. And then off he goes to, really getting like loud crowd support, which, he was enjoying as well. But there is real magic. There is real importance in the crowd feeling like you are being mistreated or you are being overlooked, right? And I think that's why I said that I think this is what's happened with LA Knight as well, is I think the crowd have looked at him and gone, where is he? I loved that guy. Why is he not got a match at WrestleMania? How can he not even get on a 2-day WrestleMania? And then once we came out of that, so it sort of makes the crowds louder so that you can hear them, right? This is what we want. And then like you get to Backlash and he's not there, and you get to Night of Champions and he's not there. And he's not around. And this frustrates the crowd, but it makes the crowds get louder. And this is what I'm saying, it adds fuel to that fire. And this is what happened with Daniel, because the feeling was, that he was being mistreated, maybe because he was a smaller guy. And WWE leaned into that, came up with the whole B+ player thing. You're just a B+ player, and all of that kind of stuff. They even had like Vince telling Daniel to shave his beard and have a corporate makeover, and they were trying to make out that Vince has got a problem with how you look. You're going to have to change how you look if you want to get anywhere. And they properly leaned into all of that for the build towards WrestleMania 30. So, could LA Knight do something similar? Sure. But this crowd support is going to have to maintain. It's going to have to maintain. It's going to have to continue to grow as well. Which it really could. It really could. But what if he gets put in a feud that's a bit flat? What if I don't know, his catchphrases just get a bit repetitive, or, he has a few segments that just sort of bomb and his momentum sort of stalls a little bit. I don't know. This is why I'm saying WWE are going to have to. It feels like WWE have made a decision that they are going to do stuff with him now. Hence, he was in Money in the Bank. I really think that spot probably would have been Montez Ford's, just judging by Elimination Chamber. And the fact that we've had a little look at Montez Ford a few times, I think that spot would have been Montez Ford's. Instead, it's gone to LA Knight, and LA Knight's got it. I expect LA Knight to have a match at SummerSlam. I would expect him to then go into a bit of a feud. I would expect there to be a conversation about, do you think he could win Rumble? Do you think he could do it? But as I just said earlier, for me, way too early. If winning the Rumble didn't have a prize and it was just you are the 2024 Royal Rumble winner, sure, I think he could be a favorite. But the fact the winner main events WrestleMania makes me think no. That's just too big of an ask. That's just too much too soon. I mean, the guy hasn't even had has he had a singles pay-per-view match yet? I don't even think he's had a one-on-one pay-per-view match outside of the Pitch Black match. But like a proper singles, proper match, not spooky dark neon lighting stuff. I'm trying to think if he had one last year, and I don't think he did, because he was Max Dupree, wasn't he? Max Dupree changed over, had a little feud with Ricochet, but he wasn't at Survivor Series, and there was no pay-per-view in December. Maybe if there had been a pay-per-view in December, he might have got on that, but there wasn't. So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about someone that hasn't even had a one-on-one pay-per-view, proper pay-per-view match yet, outside of Pitch Black match. So this is what I'm saying, like, it's going to take a little while, but yeah, he could be the next Daniel Bryan. There's no reason to say that he won't be if this crowd support continues to build. Wrestle Andy said, do you think The Rock will come back now? His last match was Eric Rowan. Well, it seems like the perfect last match to me, Eric Rowan. You know, if you're gonna call it a day, having a final match against Eric Rowan seems like a perfectly acceptable way to go out. Certainly in a 7-second match that wasn't announced in advance. I think that I've got to think he'll come back for one more. I've got to think he'll come back for one more. I can't imagine that's how he wants to hang it up. Certainly with Roman right there. I mean, even if it's not Roman Rock for the titles during this run, that match is still there, right? That will always be a massive monster match. So it's hard to see them not do it. It's difficult to see them not doing it at any point. So I'm going to lean towards that he will come back and we will get him against Roman. That seems like the perfect retirement match. But it's just timing, isn't it? And also, like, insurance and all this kind of stuff's a bit of a nightmare. He's always doing things. And I think when he wrestled against Cena, like, the injuries were pretty bad for him. I think he, like, tore his pectoral muscles and all this kind of stuff during that, I think it was the WrestleMania 29 match. So, yeah, timings, schedules, blah, 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 all that boring stuff. But we should hopefully at some point be able to get it over the line. Wrestling Guy said, do you think that there will be any chance of The Rock returning tonight to set up a match for SummerSlam? I don't think so. Could The Rock be there? We are in Madison Square Garden. But I don't know, man. You bring The Rock out. The thing is, unless you're going to have him be guest referee, which you could do, you know, Roman against Jay with The Rock as guest referee would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? That way Rock doesn't have to really do anything other than just stand there and be the referee. So, which I've got to think would be a hell of a lot easier to sort. And this would be the match to do it as well, because it's family, you know? Who is the next tribal chief? You know, they've done it. They obviously made big noise about how Jay was going to be the next tribal chief. And Roman is the tribal chief. So I feel like we've done a lot of groundwork for setting up Jay against Roman. So could The Rock come out tonight and, you know, announce himself as a special guest ref? Ugh, outside chance. Outside chance. Only because I don't know what his filming schedule's like, you know? And, I mean, we've been waiting for him and Roman for so long and it never happened. So I sort of feel like we've been down this road quite a few times where we've got hopes up and we're like, yeah, it could, that could happen. And you get all excited and then it doesn't. So well, I would just say, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Surely The Rock would have been advertised, but then again, you would think John Cena would have been advertised for Money in the Bank, said Dan. I think I don't think you need to worry about advertising The Rock, because if he did come out tonight and the end result is he is going to be the guest ref at SummerSlam, that is going to be everywhere, and that will be such a boost for SummerSlam. That is what you would want from it. You would want that from it more than advertising that The Rock's going to be there, because then what you've got is you'd have people speculating, oh my God, what's going to happen? And you'd have people kind of maybe working out the direction it could be going. This way, you can just have it as a surprise. You never know what's going to happen with WWE. But the bigger thing, rather than getting people to tune into SmackDown tonight, would be setting up like something massive for SummerSlam. Something absolutely massive for SummerSlam. So, yeah, I don't know. We've seen The Rock come out fair few times in the past where he wasn't advertised. Your logic is sound. I mean, your logic's not wrong. You're not wrong. But we have done it whereby we haven't advertised. And as you rightfully said, John Cena at Money in the Bank was not advertised, and that was a fun little moment as well. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that. Rikishi has that duty, said Jeremy. Easton said, what would you do if someone donated 500s? Well, I wouldn't do anything. I would be shocked. That's what I would do. William said, what do you think is going to happen tonight on the tribal courts? That was asked of the chat. So hopefully people have been putting in their thoughts on that. So I'll allow people to continue doing that. Bembo said, you're right. WWE needs to be careful. LA Knight doesn't become another Otis, where they started pushing him and then the fans turn to someone else. It is difficult because LA, I think, is over, undeniably, but he is also getting on in age a little bit. He is not the person WWE really wants to be pushing. They want to be pushing like Cody and, Rhea and like the younger people. They're not looking at like Bobby Roode, who's 47, or LA Knight, that's, I don't even know how old LA Knight is, 40 something. LA Knight, let's have a look. He is 40, right? So 40 in November, he'll be 41. So, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible that he's 40. It's not like Bobby Roode's 47. But, yeah, I think that it shows the fact that he hasn't been at these pay-per-views and that they had it all planned out after WrestleMania and there was nothing for him there either. It shows that there's been no plans for him this year up until Money in the Bank. And so if they wanted to move with him and do something with him, you'd think that we would have started doing that. Think about how much we've been doing with Theory over the past, 18 months or so. He was in segments with Vince and he won Money in the Bank. He's been like a 2-time United States champion. He faced John Cena at WrestleMania. We've done loads with Theory within, an 18-month period. And then if you compare that to the fact that, I think that he's been on the roster 12 months now, LA Knight. But for the first, I don't know how long, was just him teasing Maximum Male Models. Then he was doing Maximum Male Models. It wasn't really until we were getting to October, November that he became LA Knight. Then, of course, we get to the point where he gets into that feud with Bray. And then after that, we didn't have any plans for him. There was no plans for him. So the message definitely seems to be that he is a guy that WWE will look to use. I think WWE see him as quite fun. He's experienced. Can get a match out of him. You could put him in a tag team. You could, put him in a feuds. He's good on the mic. He's a steady hand. He's a steady hand. You can do something with him. He's worth having around. The thing is that he is such a confident talker with catchphrases that he is one of the best talkers that we've got. And the crowds look at him and I think they see The Rock and they see Stone Cold and they see the confidence and the charisma. And because there's not loads of people that are have got that on the current roster, he stood out. And so now the crowd have kind of took to him and boom, that's it. Off we go. We are up and running and the fans want him now to obviously go to the moon. But you're right, Otis is a very good comparison because the fans were behind Otis as well, and they were really into him and Mandy Rose. And then as soon as he got that Money in the Bank, it's kind of like, oh, that's it, boom. He's the guy now. That's it. Our job's done. He's going to be a world champion, whatever. And that's the problem. If you give the fans what they want, what then? Because with wrestling fans, we always want this person to be champ, that person to be champ. But the question is, if you're a booker, okay, you do that, but what then? Because this story just keeps going. So what then? A lot of the value is in the chase. A lot of the value for LA Knight is going to be, can he become a world champion, right? And if I'm WWE, I'm really playing with that for the next few years. Can LA Knight become a world champion? I'll give him opportunities. He's got his hand on the briefcase. Oh, he's just missed out. He gets down to the final 2 in the Rumble. Oh, he's been eliminated. He's in the elimination chamber. He's battling away. Oh, God, he's just been screwed over. Now he's going to face that person at WrestleMania. I'm constantly teasing and working and building and, he's cutting his promos and I'm doing that for a while. Eventually I would give you that moment where he becomes world champion. But I would have got a good few years out of him before I get to that point. And, you know, in many ways, that's kind of what we've seen in the past as well. That is the journey that many people have been on, as we said, like, you know, Daniel Bryan getting the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30. He had the World Heavyweight Championship before that point, but like it was, as I said, you know, it was a case of people wanted to see him really be the guy, the man, the face. And they teased it and built it. I mean, he won the title at SummerSlam in 2013 and then immediately got cashed in on. And so they teased it and built it. And that's why that WrestleMania 30 moment is so special, so good, so well told. You don't really hear anyone saying that was rubbish or it was flat or it was boring or anything like that. Like, I think everyone really enjoyed Daniel winning the titles in that main event at WrestleMania 30. So, yeah, absolutely. LA Knight could be similar. LA Knight could be just as successful. The Ashes third test in Leeds has been good. Australia 263, Mishmash, blah, 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 blah. England all out 237. Adam, shout out to you. I have Fox open right now. There is no SmackDown. It should start in about a minute. Gavin said, do you think Roman will still be champion at WrestleMania? If so, do you think he will win or lose at WrestleMania? I think he'll be champion at WrestleMania. I think he loses to Cody at WrestleMania. I think we spoke about before, WrestleMania 10 is where we get Bret being the guy, right? We'd tried a few different bits and bobs. Don't forget, Bret had been champ and then lost to Yokozuna, and Hogan ends WrestleMania 9 holding up the belt. It was going to be a case that Bret was meant to win it back later in the year. Hogan didn't want to do that. You know, at WrestleMania 10, Bret finds his way back to the title, beating Yokozuna, and he then really is the guy. And he ends, I think, on the shoulders of the baby faces, and you know, that is how WrestleMania ends. If you think about WrestleMania 20, where you've got Benoit and you've got Eddie, and they're in the ring together, and that's kind of like a heart. I mean, it doesn't work now, but it was a heartwarming moment at the time. Two people that were not meant to really be champions, not in a world of Brock and, you know, The Rock and all these people that are around, Mick Foley and whoever else, you know, Triple H. And there you've got Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero as your champions. So that's, you know, boyhood dream come true. WrestleMania 30, as we said, is Daniel Bryan, boyhood dream come true. Sort of feels like WrestleMania 40 is going to be a babyface achieving, you know, reaching the mountaintop. We've seen it at 10. We've seen it at 20. We've seen it at 30. So why wouldn't we see it at 40? So, yeah, someone reaching the mountaintop, someone achieving their goal. I've got to think finishing the story, Cody beating Roman, this historic reign ending at WrestleMania. Just makes a lot of sense. Ticks a lot of boxes. So I think that's where my head's at. Who knows, though? I mean, look, it could be that Roman loses to Jay and we get Roman Rock at WrestleMania 40 instead, which would also be epic. We're just seeing footage from Money in the Bank. Dave's account is fake. Dave's is from China. He is a robot, says William. William, shout out to you. Did you hear about Van der Sar, says James. I did, yes. I did. Very sad. I don't know how it happened, though, to be honest. But I did hear about it, that he's in intensive care. So obviously I hope he is going to be good. One of my all-time favourite goalkeepers. I said when I was at school, I was thrown in goal. And the person I watched the most was Schmeichel. The other person I watched a lot was Van der Sar. This is why my favourite club is Ajax. My favourite foreign club is Ajax. Van der Sar plays a big part in that. My mate, who also was a goalkeeper, he used to have Edwin van der Sar's orange gloves. I don't think he wore them in the Premier League, but when he played in Holland, he wore orange gloves, which obviously makes a lot of sense because of Netherlands and their national color, what they play in. Well, he wore orange gloves, and these, I mean, at the time, no one was wearing colored gloves. Everyone's gloves were just white. And so these really stood out. And I remember always wanting them. I never got them. I remember always wanting them. So yeah, he is someone that I've got a lot of respect for. Okay, so we're just seeing footage from Money in the Bank. And we have got the Usos celebrating Roman defeated. We've got the trial of Roman tonight. Let's have a look, see how this is going to play out. We are in Madison Square Garden. I've never watched wrestling there. Oh, there's the Trinidad guy. I've never watched wrestling there, but I have seen basketball. I saw the Knicks play there. Amazing. Just to be in that building was amazing. Tribal Court. The trial of the tribal chief. Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns. Grayson Waller has got Edge on the Grayson Waller effect tonight, which should be a lot of fun. The Rated R Superstar Edge. Let's go. See nobody. He had a blood cut on the brain. Right, here's the Usos. Down since day one-ish. Down since day one-ish. Oh, it's loud in Madison's. MSG is bouncing, man. Down since day one-ish. People singing along as well. Usos making their way down to the ring. I'm sure they've got plenty to say. Are they the greatest tag team of all time? Are they? Are they? Maybe. I reckon they're in the running. Trial of Roman right now, apparently. Yes. You can't just show up one day and decide you're a prosecutor, said Wade Barrett. I mean, it's true. You can't. I've tried it. Woo! I wish they still came out through the little door at the side. Do you remember, like, WrestleMania 10? I don't even know if it's still there. That little door. It looks like they... Yeah, that's it. Is that it? Damn, man. They should come out that little door. What's all this big stage nonsense? Just like WrestleMania 10. Usos chants. The real ones. Usos. The Usos are now in your city. They said he couldn't be beat. Guess what happened at Money in the Bank? They said he couldn't be beat. Oh, here's Heyman. I love the fact they're bragging about something that happened in the O2 Arena in London. They're talking about that in Madison Square Garden. That's just really cool. Here's Solo. I mean, when does that happen? When does something happen in the O2 Arena that then gets spoken about in Madison Square Garden? Solo is coming to the ring with Paul Heyman. And the wise man, he is the wise man. Have we changed those side plates, do you reckon? Looks like we have. So he's still got the 2 belts. Roman's got the gold one. Yeah, I think we've changed those side plates. Usos, 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 Usos. Tonight, I serve as defense counsel in the tribal court. Shut your mouth. Wise man, please shut your mouth. Why is he engaging in this? Why is he like, I'm going to provide defense item number 1? Why aren't they just laughing at this tribal court thing? There's only one man that can ever tell Paul Heyman to stop talking. Vince. Oh? Solo? Solo stops Heyman from talking? Turns out there's 2 men? Maybe 3 if you count Vince. I definitely count Vince. Maybe Triple H can do it these days as well. Nick Khan? Actually, when you think about it, there's quite the list. Solo puts his hand on the microphone, throws the microphone out the ring. Green shirt guy front row, by the way. Green shirt guy front row. Solo staring at the Usos. Damn, now we got Roman coming out. Now we got Roman. Oh, my God. Oh, we're eating. We're eating. We're eating. There's some eating going on. Did you bring your picnic? Because we're eating. Damn. I wasn't expecting Roman at the start. I thought that this would set something up for the end and we'd see Roman towards the end. Throw up the ones if you're going to acknowledge. Throw up the ones. Are you acknowledging? He's here. Play it cool, guys. He's here. Jeez. Oh, he's here. Even the Usos are a bit like, oh, God. Only 3. Bruno. Sammartino. Only 3 men have held this title longer. Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, and Bruno Sammartino. He's got a shirt on that says 1,000 days. Ian. Only one man can tell Paul Heyman to shut up. Solo takes the mic. Right, we've gone to commercial break. I'm so tired of Roman, said C. Rayeth. Roman J at SummerSlam. How close is he to Hogan? Not that close, in all fairness, because he's in New York. Hogan will be in Tampa. I mean, that's quite a distance. That is quite a distance. But actual time-wise, I think we looked. Isn't Hogan like 1,400? So I actually don't know when he would beat Hogan. I don't know when that would be. I mean, I'm guessing that it's going to need to be... He got to 1,000 days, wasn't it? The Night of Champions. It's going to have to be another year after that, so... It's possible. but he would have to get past WrestleMania 40. Don't see it. Don't see it. Why did Solo do that? Someone please explain, says Adam. Well, to be honest, my reading of it was that he'd had enough of the talk and it was time for Roman to come out. So, you know, Heyman was getting into a bit of a back and forth with the Usos, and Solo just stopped it, took it, threw the mic out the ring. Heyman's like, okay, bang, here's Roman. It's kind of like, I'm not here to talk. We're not here to talk. Bang. Out comes the tribal chief. That was my reading of it. Sonny, hello. Welcome back, my friend. I hope you are well. Sonny Wolf. Back like she's never been away. In fact, in my mind, mate, you haven't. In my mind, you haven't been away. But, yeah, I hope you're well. It's hot as shiz over here. That's a shame. It's a shame that you've chosen to use such bad language. And it's a shame that I now have to time you out. That is disappointing. Literally just got back in the chat and now timed out. That's heartbreaking. I'm not really. Not really, mate. I'm only joking. Never talked to you, Sonny. Welcome back, says Anna. Trini said Sonny has returned to Brighton and Days. You could have changed that to D-A-Z-E. Daniela said, Days, when do you think Lashley returns? Seeing as Edge is returning and Lashley and Edge are two of SmackDown's best on the roster right now. Could be as soon as tonight. Could be as soon as tonight. I think there's a good chance we see him at SummerSlam. I'm not aware of him being injured or anything, so yeah, I think there's a good chance we see him ASAP Rocky. Miss Clown, shout out to you. Blaze said 1,000 days. 1 day is more than enough. Very good. I like that. Hope you're well, Blaze. My language, my apologies, good sir, says Sonny. I'm joking. Or am I? I am. Right, Roman is in the ring. Let's go. Edward, shout out to you. Said, Days, there's rumors Carlito return full-time today. Let's find out. Perhaps he's going to come and help Roman. Cena is coming to New York to say New York is... Cena's coming out to say New York deserves WrestleMania, says Wrestle with Andy. It's good. I need that and then Tyson Fury singing straight after. That is my dream show. Mitchell said, I'm surprised they open with the Roman trial. Don't know. We tend to open with Bloodline and Roman and Usos. So, you got pinned, chance. You got pinned. You got pinned. You got pinned. Madison Square Garden. Acknowledge me. You got pinned. You got pinned. Well, they're acknowledging him all right, but not in a way that I think he will appreciate. Plenty of booze. You're right. I got pinned. Yeah, you're right. I got pinned. Last time I checked, I'm still the tribal chief. Yeah, you're right. I got pinned. Now they're chanting tribal chief. Make your mind up, New York. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? They're not talking to you. Now we got Uso chants. I feel like the crowd are just doing the greatest hits. We got tribal chief chants, Usos chants. You got pinned. We'll have Fight Forever in a second. This is awesome. We'll have a what chant. I'm having trouble understanding why I'm here tonight. Tribal Chief didn't call for Tribal Court. Then this ain't official. This ain't legit. Why you wasting my time? Who has the authority to put me on trial? Are we going to bring someone out now? Who has the authority to do this? Is it you? Is it you? They could turn around and go, no, but it's him. No, it's not gone that way. Not this time. You're not going to manipulate us, say the Usos. What's this? It's like the trial of Sammy. We've got like a card, Exhibit A. Oh, hello. We've got a little bit of lag. It's gone. Little bit of lag in there. Little bit of lag. I was a good goalkeeper too, said Mr. Quake. Mr. Quake, shout out to you. Not this time, Oos. Rikishi, maybe. I was thinking that. I was thinking Rikishi. I was, you know, there was a brief moment where I went, The Rock? That seemed like a perfect opportunity to do that and bring someone out. But yeah, I don't know why Roman's out there. I don't know why he's out there. They're doing a trial of Roman. You'd imagine he'd just laugh at it and go, I ain't going out for that. So, Exhibit A is just Roman berating the Usos. So, Roman is just seen Exhibit A. Exhibit A was long. There's footage of him there, like, berating Solo as well. Roman has got a little smirk. You effed up chant now. Thanks, London. Yeah, that's you, that is. With your bad language, your potty mouths. No, I didn't. You effed up. Roman says, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yes. Tell you what, this crowd they've watched the London crowd, didn't they? They've seen Montreal and everything. That's not who I am. That's who I was forced to be. Wow, that's a good line. That's a good line. You think I wanted to lower myself? I did it for you. Did it for you. And I did it for you. He is so giving. He's a hero. Roman's a hero. Did it for you. That's not me. You think I enjoyed that? BS chance now. David said, I think Roman's days are over. Brock should be king of the ring. He did it for The Rock, said Trina. He did it for The Rock. I didn't need the bloodline. The bloodline needed me, says Roman. put myself in situations I shouldn't have been in. And you can pull footage of my worst moments to embarrass me. As my children are watching. It's a good segment. I've got 5 children. Think I need to take on yours too. I don't need this in my life. I don't need the money. I don't need the power. Is this what you want? I don't want it. I don't need it. Is he going to give it? I mean, he won't give it. Roman says he's done. He's lying. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. Jay should be like, all right. Give me the red thing. Give me the chilies, whatever they are. Give me those and the belt. Give me that. I'll have that shirt as well. Wise man, get over here. You're mine now. Can I have him delivered, actually? Deliver him. Deliver him to my flat. Hey, goodbye. Heyman's upset. Look, the chilies are coming off. Is he gonna put the chilies around Jay? Is this what it's about? Just about these chilies? Could have gone and got you some from Walmart. It's all about this. This is what it's about. You're that desperate for chilies. Roman's getting upset. There's some emotion. There's anger. Puts it over the head of Jay. Oh, Heyman's crying. Roman's crying. Takes the belt off. He throws the belt away. Roman throws the belt away. Roman going down onto one knee. Damn, man. Madison Square Garden making plenty of noise here as Roman goes down onto 2 knees. Gonna low blow him. Good segment. Really good segment. He's crying, man. Roman's got tears coming down his face. Low blow. Low blow by Roman. Him going down onto his knees is such a powerful visual, isn't it? Such a powerful moment. Solo, man. Solo hasn't flinched. Solo. Solo stood in the corner going. Now we got a big brawl that's broken out. Jimmy in the corner. Solo's looking at the chilies. Get the chilies, Solo. Get the chilies. Solo's got those. He's looking at the chilies. He's like, oh, I like chili. Oh, yeah, baby. I like chili. He's having a little look around. He don't know what to do. Put them on. Have a go. See how they fit. See if they're comfortable. Chili's would look good on Solo. Chili's would look good on Solo. Picks up the Chili's. Yeah, eat them, eat them, eat them, eat them, eat them. Crowd are chanting, put them on, put them on. Am I the only one chanting, eat them, eat them, eat them, eat them? In a salad. In a salad. Oh. Pop them in a pan with a bit of chicken breast. Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful. Was there a question of allegiance? Man, this segment just keeps giving, doesn't it? Just keeps on giving. Some great visuals, some great moments that have come out of this. I mean, we've got Usos are down. Usos down. Superman punch by Roman. Roman and Solo have took out the Usos. Right now, we're on the outside of the ring. Defcon Eric and Pirate King Jack said segment really needed to be 30 minutes uninterrupted. I mean, I think it's been great. I think it's been gripping. I think that the crowd have made loads of noise. They've been really invested. You thought you was going to be the tribal chief? You know, should have seen your face. You thought you was going to be the tribal chief. Oh, God. I think you're only about 4'11", aren't you? You thought you was going to be the tribal chief. Oh, God. I saw you with them chilies round your neck and I started crying. Uso chants. He nails Jimmy with the championship belt. Roman using that new belt. WWE aren't going to be happy about that. That only got unveiled a few weeks ago. Defcon Eric said WWE shop needs to sell the chilies now. They need to sell the chilies now. We all need to have our little whatevers. Face first into the ring steps. Roman, with those ring steps, is going to smash them into Jimmy. And Jay is being made to watch, you know. Jay is being made to watch as Jimmy is getting smashed around. Roman pacing around as well. Grabs that championship belt. Puts it down. I gotta say, when he put the chilies around Jay, and then he went to take the belt off and throw it away, it was a bit unsatisfying hearing a as the Velcro ripped apart. I mean, I know it's only a minor detail in the grand scheme of things. Jimmy gets smashed with the ring steps. But even so, I stand by it. Crowds are booing. Jay frees himself, goes after Roman. He's all over Roman. Throwing in some big shots. Roman down. Solo coming over. Solo. Samoan spike. And it was a big Samoan spike as well. Big Samoan spike. Big. Was that a big Samoan spike? Yes, it was. Roman tells Solo to finish him. Been a big brawl. Since all that went down, I mean, there's been a big brawl, hasn't there? Finish him. Right, Jimmy is on the table. Jay is down. Roman and Solo very much in control. Do you reckon Triple H just went, have the show? How long we got for this segment? 2 hours if you need it. Just have the show. Solo. I can't imagine anyone turning off during this, though. Solo looking to splash. Oh, and he does. He splashes Jimmy. It is very difficult to have sympathy for the Usos because they brought this on themselves. They did not need to do this, Court. They could have had their win. They could have stayed away. They could have celebrated. They could have goaded him from afar. They could have sent him videos of them laughing at him and Roman getting upset that he can't get his hands on him. But no, they had to come out to the ring, do a trial. Heyman's got the chilies. Heyman's got 3 belts and the chilies. Right now, Paul Heyman is the tribal chief. He kisses them and puts them over the heads of Roman. Paul Heyman shouting, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. That light, it's right in the eyes of Jimmy. Poor Jimmy is down. He's been planted through the commentary table. Poor Jimmy is down. And the light is like... quite intense. Well, I mean, look, that's 35 minutes of eating good, I would say. That's 35 minutes of eating real goods. Maybe the beatdown after... I don't know. Fine. I think the seeing Roman go down to his knees and the visual of that and the crowd reaction where they're like, proper shock at what they're witnessing, what they're watching. But Roman stands tall. It felt too long, said Fire. Heyman's great, said Spike. Usos aren't dancing now, said Latonia. Eating good in the neighborhood, said Ahead News. Someone get Heyman some Vicin, says AR1. I don't know what that is. Wrestle Dandy said John Cena to London to what Big John is to Saudi. Oh, I love London, says John Cena. That was such a good segment, said J-Love. 35-minute segment, and I loved it, said JB. Days, they should do a ladder match and hang up the chilies. That was awesome, said Mitchell. Submissive, shout out to you. How about stop saying it's too long, want to make it longer, says Dell Jr. This is never going to end. He's got the devil in him now, says Anna. What do you think this means for SummerSlam? Well, I felt pretty good, and I know many people have felt pretty good about Roman Jay. I think if ever you pin a champion, you're well on the road to getting a title match. Clearly, we're not done, are we? Clearly, we haven't turned around, and Roman's just gone, fair play, I'm going to move on. So, yeah, it's got to be, SummerSlam's got to be Usos, Solo, Roman in some sort of match. Could be Roman, Jay, Jimmy in Jay's corner, Solo in Roman's corner for the titles. What's interesting about that is it's even. It's down the middle, innit? There's no advantage for Roman. There's no advantage for the Usos. Jimmy can deal with Solo. I would imagine Solo would come out on top eventually, but he can certainly keep him busy for a while. Heyman ain't going to do much. So really, that just leaves Jay and Roman one-on-one battle of the tribal chief and the supposed future tribal chief. Back from commercial break, said Legend Killer. It'll be Jimmy and Solo. Jay Roman, said Planet Dan. Quarter of the show spent on one segment. WWE is dead, says Tim. Right, we've got Jimmy being loaded into an ambulance. Look at that. Look at the moment that like Roman's got like a tear running down his face. Even though it was predictable, it was still so well told. So well told. So we just got a recap. So Jimmy to hospital. A level of savagery we just have not witnessed, says Wade Barrett, who largely just sat that out. Both of the commentators, actually. Martin said, the Velcro was cringe. We need the metal clasps. I don't want the undisputed noisy title. Yeah, I agree. Nothing says prestigious quite like Velcro. You know. You think about some of the most treasured items in the world, and pretty much all of them have got Velcro involved somewhere. Right, we've got a roster that have come out to witness Jimmy being taken away. Zelina Vega looks concerned. Santos looks concerned. Boogs, Ray, Street Profits. If I was a babyface on the SmackDown roster, I wouldn't give a flip. I wouldn't care. I'd be having I'd be enjoying some of the catering. You what happened to the Usos? Oh, that's a shame. I'll drop him a text later. Have you tried this chicken? Oh my god. Right, A-Town down. James, shout out to you. Yeah, exciting matchup. Austin Theory versus Sheamus. A-Town down. Celtic Warrior versus Theory. Retribution said, I prefer the metal clasp, but the Velcro is easier to put on and take off. It makes sense why they've done it. Yeah, it is true. It is easier to put on and take off, but I would still prefer the metal clasps. Certainly in a moment like that as well, where it's very emotional. Hearing just momentarily took me out of it. It's in my head. I went, Velcro. Ah. Did it ruin that segment? That's the bottom line. Did it ruin that segment? Yes, it did. Completely. Derailed the whole thing. This is trash. This show is trash. I'm joking. No, it didn't matter at all. But it was just a quirky moment. Right. United States Champion. Should we do a poll? See what the kids on the streets are saying. Who wins? Theory or not Theory? Theory or the other one? Right. Sheamus picking up Theory, driving him into the corner. Alan says, Days, my name is Alan. Is Theory defending his title? He is, yes. This is for the United States Championship. Theory versus Sheamus. Miss Clown, shout out to you. WWE are planning Rhea Raquel at SummerSlam. Do you think Rhea retains? Yes. I think Raquel is a future champion. I wouldn't have her take it from Rhea yet, though, because I think what Rhea needs is a lengthy title reign on the main roster. She's had a title reign before on the main roster, hasn't she? Rhea Ripley, because she beat Asuka, but I don't remember how long she held that belt for. Because she beat her at WrestleMania. Raw Women's Champion. Women's Champion. How long did she... Ripley dropped the title to Flair, ending her reign at 98 days. That's, just over 3 months. So, yeah, she needs longer than that. So, I wouldn't take it off her yet. She is a Raw Women's Champion, a SmackDown Women's Champion. Is she the first woman to do that? Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, NXT Women's Champion, and NXT UK Women's Champion. NXT UK, not around anymore, sadly. NXT, I tell you what, when NXT Europe starts, if I'm Rhea Ripley, right, and I wish I was, but if I was Rhea Ripley, I definitely want to get that NXT Europe Women's title. Because I've had the Raw one, the SmackDown one, the NXT one, the NXT UK one. I mean, I've pretty much collected them all. I'd also be having a little look at that Raw one that's now become the WWE Championship, because I know they're the same. It's the same belt, but like it's a different name and it's a different look. It's in many ways it's a different belt, isn't it? So I definitely want that as well. She's belt collecting, isn't she? She's done well. But Raquel definitely is going to be a future champion. Defo. But SummerSlam is going to be 30 minutes from where I live, said BBB Yipsy. I am going to apply to be the tribal chief. My question is, will Wrestling Days acknowledge me? That is all the support that I need. Well, I will support your application, definitely. If you was Rhea Ripley, then you'd be sleeping at night with Buddy Murphy. Well, he seems like a nice guy, to be honest. Seems like a nice guy. Seems like... I think we'd get along. We might have similar interests. I don't know if he likes cricket. It could work. Defcon Eric said, boxing and UFC have got no issues with metal clasps, right? Not as far as I'm aware. But what I would say is that they tend to put the belt... I mean, the belt gets put on by other people. With wrestling, we do a lot more with the belts, don't we? Like, we have the champs coming out most weeks to do promos, take it off, hold it up. They might take it off as they're coming down and then put it back around their waists. You don't get that with UFC. I mean, the champs might come out with the belt over their shoulders or around the waist, or someone might even carry it for them. And if they do win, then obviously Dana puts the belt around their waist as well. So it is true that, like, there's clasps in the UFC and in boxing and whatever, but I think wrestling is quite specific in that we do a hell of a lot more with the belts, with the champions, who we tend to see on, like, a weekly basis as well, compared to, like, boxers and compared to other champions, MMA champions, UFC champions that we don't see every week. Right, we're seeing Theory trying to do the 10 beats of a battering, but Sheamus is like, nah, mate. You've botched that. Couple of back elbows coming in by Sheamus. Big clothesline as Theory goes down. But I think we need a Bloodline show. Well, I think we've had that, to be honest. I mean, if you think that you can get TV shows that are like half an hour long, certainly that's a normal thing here in the UK. Maybe a little less normal in America. I think you love your hour-long episodes, don't you? We have a lot of stuff that's just half an hour on TV over here. So you've just had like half an hour of Bloodline. Quarter of the show, Bloodline. No hanky-panky in the bed sheets with Murphy, though, or is there, Days? Who knows? If I get treated right, took out for a few drinks, yeah, I can't, a lady like me would never say. Sheamus getting pinned, kick out. Where is SummerSlam? It's in Detroit. Knight Rider said banger after banger after banger. Raquel at SummerSlam. Liv at Payback. 2 credible challenges for Rhea, says Max. Buddy Murphy is Australian, says Bembo. James said John Jones, Stipe. Mm-hmm. We spoke about it earlier. We touched on it earlier. It's good. I'm glad it's been announced. Lucifer said, who do you think is going to Rock will feud with if he's going to show up with Usos? Huh? I don't know what you mean. I mean, we don't know that The Rock is coming in. There's been no reports that he is. I think if he does come back for a match, I could see it being against Roman. But there's no reports of that being this year. Theory lands on his feet and he grabs Sheamus. Sheamus is on his shoulders. Airplane spin. Oh, plants him down. Lovely. Looking for the cover. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. Theory frustrated. Yipsy said Hanky Panky would be your illegitimate child, but could also be a WWE champion. Jesus versus Ross. I went Jesus because he can walk on water, says William. Someone's got to stop Solo, so Jay's going to need backup since Jimmy is gone, says Ernest. Well, we don't know how long he's gone for. He is on his way to hospital, but I don't know if this is going to rule him out of SummerSlam. So, yes, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. What's the last segment tonight? If Roman was the first, it has to be big, says Wrestle with Andy. Well, what are the other matches that have been announced? We know that Edge is on Grayson Waller. That wouldn't feel like it's main evented. What else we got? We've got this match. And there was another match as well, wasn't there? Which is Karrion Kross against, is it AJ Styles? None of those feel like the main event. So, tag champs are over on Raw, so it can't be them. Gunter? No, Gunter's on Raw. Mid-card champ. Women's champ? Can we do something with Rhea? Do something with Rhea? Shall we? Let's do it. I'm going to say Rhea. Let's do something with Rhea. We're going to have the ladies do something tonight. Coach Co, shout out to you. Said, it's completely normal, guys. Can we please accept this? It is completely normal for people to feel nervous when driving alone for the first time, right? I'm so tired of us having this conversation. People saying, is it normal when you drive alone for the first time? Yes, of course it is. It is completely normal. It's a new experience that can be overwhelming and anxiety-inducing, right? You're having to put into play all of that stuff that you've learned, pull it all together. It is. So, Coach Co, shout out to you. I really appreciate that we've cleaned that up tonight. Really put a full stop on it, and we've drawn a line under it. Hopefully we get a lot of those people asking that question going forward. It is completely normal. We need mid-card women's championship, says Mickey. I'm ready for the megastar LA Knight. Yeah, says can't stop, won't stop. Days, do you think Jay could beat Roman for the title, says Alan. No. I mean, could he? No. I mean, actually, in real life, could he? No. Would WWE book him to do it? No. No. I don't see Jay. I mean, Jay's not a solo star. He had a little run when Jimmy was injured a few years ago. But Jay is one half of the Usos. I don't think WWE have got any plans for him to be a solo star. And even if they do have plans for him to be a solo star, he's not the face of this company, right? Roman is part of a long lineage of faces for WWE. Roman is undeniably the face of WWE. As was John Cena, as was Stone Cold, as was Hulk Hogan, and the list goes on. As was Bruno Sammartino, as was Bob Backlund, right? They were the faces of the company. Jay is not that person. Jay is not a face of the company. Here's Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly have made their way down. The only reason that they might do it is just for the storyline purpose. If Roman says that Jay is the one that he wants it to be, then they could go that way, and then it'd be a case that Jay loses the title relatively quickly, you know. Knee strike there by Sheamus. 1, 2, shoulder up by Theory. So Pretty Deadly came down. Now we got the Brutes. Here's Ridge and Butch. So getting slammed down. Surely this is going to just result in Pretty Deadly. Kit Wilson on the outside. Bro connects. Roll up by Theory. And Theory gets the win. So Theory with the tights. He gets past Sheamus, but I can't see this being over. Pretty Deadly and Brawling Brutes interfere. I just keep winning, said Theory. Okay, so still to come, we got Edge. We're only 5 minutes away from halftime scores, you know. 5 minutes away from halftime scores. That is mental. Mental, I tell you. All day. Right. I think the way they could do the Butch change back to Pete Dunne is to have him turn on Sheamus and turn heel, says Dan. Pretty Deadly are pretty useless, said Officer Clusternut. Send them back to NXT. They're not good enough for the main roster. What will happen with Roman, said Steven. Well, the belief is that we will get Jay Roman at SummerSlam. We all know that Solo will turn on Roman, says Nicholas. John Cena is still better than Austin Theory. In fact, just driving, no matter how long you've been doing it, heightens your senses and reflexes to a fairly high degree. Thus, road rage when surprised. You don't get walking rage. I do, actually. I've suffered from walking rage my whole life. As soon as I could walk, my very first words were, "Get the out of my way! Who the..." To my mother. And it's not because I hated her, but it's just because I do suffer from walking rage. Very, very rare. Very, very rare. And actually, as I've got older, any exercise brings that kind of a rage out in me. If I'm not just sat in my chair spinning around like this, content. If I have to get up and do any sort of exercise, stay away. Wrestle Andy said, Wade Barrett just said that the Waller effect is coming imminently. Imminently. It's imminent. Jeremy said, could we see Priest cashing in at SummerSlam? I wouldn't do that personally. I mean, we could. I mean, he can cash in any time. But I think that Priest is still someone that needs to be built up a bit as a solo person. He's been in the Judgment Day as part of a faction for a long time. And I think, like, people are just sort of getting used to the idea of him cashing in and becoming, like, a champion, potentially a world champion. He won't be the one that cashes in on Roman. It's Seth's belt that he'll be cashing in on. But I don't know. I think we need to do a few teases. I think, like, that's something that we can save for later in the year, potentially next year. I think people need to get used to the idea of him being a solo star. He picked up a win. I think it was quite a good win, actually, on Raw. Was it against Nakamura? I think he got a decent win on Raw in a singles match. I mean, when I look at him, I still see him losing to Bad Bunny. So I feel like we need to, give him some wins and build him up a little bit. I have said before, and I stand by it, like, it doesn't matter if you have him lose. I wouldn't do that for Damian Priest, to be honest. I wouldn't do that for him. I think each superstar has their own requirements, and the way I feel about Damian is that he could do with picking up some wins. He's just coming off a horrific loss to Bad Bunny, so he could do with some wins. But he's got that briefcase, so even if he is taking L after L after L after L, he can cash in at an opportune moment and become a new world champion. Right, and get one of the biggest dubs of his career. So those L's that he would have took will have just been immediately eradicated. Rogers, San Martino, 63. That was. That's like the birth of WWE. And then obviously we're seeing all these shots of WrestleMania, SummerSlam, The Warrior. There's Triple H when he came back with the double denim in 2002. Kofi in 09. Kane unmasked in 03. Some moment with Becky in 2021. That was the first one, wasn't it? Wasn't that the first stunner when he stuns Vince? It's cool, man. That is cool. Grayson Waller effect, baby. Bum, bum. Bup, 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 bup. We'll do halftime scores at the next... next break. Right. The Dynamite from Down Under. Bibi Yipsy said, do you think Jacob Fatu could ever show up in WWE to add to the bloodline or go against Roman? Do I think Jacob Fatu could ever show up in WWE? No. Don't think so. There's this criminal thing against him. I've not had a match on SmackDown, but here I stand in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Tonight's not about me. Been some huge moments. Huge events. Yeah. None bigger. Okay. Big announcement coming from Edge, apparently. The Rated R superstar, Edge. You think you know me. You think you know me. But you don't know me. Stay. Right. Australian Miz will never get over, said Tim. Did AJ and Karrion happen tonight? No, not yet. Love the videos. Do you think Solo will turn on Roman at SummerSlam? Said E-Dub-F. 60-40, yes. We might just tease it a little longer and do it after SummerSlam, but I mean, it's coming. It's coming. Think about what Roman's done. He's made Sammy bigger. He's made the Usos bigger. He will make Solo. Well, he has made Solo bigger. He has really boosted the profile of quite a few people. Sammy did so well to get involved in that. It was his idea to get involved. Oh, he's excited, Edges. He's all kinds of excited. King Yeti said, I'm being affected by Grayson Waller. Well, I like him. I like Grayson. Yeah, we know all about the arena. No. Let's get to the big announcement. Tell the world. So, is Waller teasing that Edge is going to retire? And he's too embarrassed. Had a long historic career. You've saved your money. Why are you back in WWE? I'm back because of them. New York, I want to talk to you. We go way back. So Edge has left Grayson Waller. He's standing up. He's talking to the crowds. SummerSlam 98. He's talking about coming down through the crowd at SummerSlam 98. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Aisle used to be here. Yeah, that was the aisle. Edge is just like, he's loving it, isn't he? Edge is looking around and he's like, man, I remember Bruno was over here. I remember seeing Killer Kowalski over there. Bob Backlund over here, Hogan. Proper down memory lane. He's dancing down memory lane. I'm a big dreamer and I still am to this day. That's why you and I work. Booze. He keeps going on about this big announcement. Up on your feet. This is the last time you will ever see Edge in Madison Square Garden. He's done. He's had a great career. Thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge. Oh. Oh, God. Oh. I didn't think I'd get this emotional. Let's see what he's got to say, Edge. You've been here for half a hiccup, says Edge. You haven't even had a match on the main roster yet. I mean, all of this is true. You've doggy paddled your way into some deep waters? I'm not retiring. Oh. Boo! I'm going to have a match tonight. Oh, I got all emotional for no reason. Feel like I've been worked. I've been played. Edge is having a match tonight. So, I'm guessing that's our main event. Grayson. Wow. Wow. So he's ready. He's cleared. It's good to go. He's broke his leg. Yeah. Big match for Grayson. Yeah. Low blow by Roman earlier. Gutted. I would love to see Tama Tonga show up to help the Usos. They do have a relationship with The Rock. The Rock calls Haku his uncle. Imagine the crazy crowd reaction if Tama and Haku showed up. There wouldn't be one. I promise you, this crowd do not know Tama Tonga. Even Haku coming out the crowd. Don't forget, there's a lot of kids, a lot of families in this crowd. There wouldn't be a crazy crowd reaction for Tama Tonga. Look at the flipping crowd reaction that Switchblade Jay White has been getting in AEW. I mean, you'd imagine that crowd would go bananas. There's been times where he's gone in the ring and there's been no reaction, no noise for Switchblade Jay White. He's got a better chance than LA Knights. The SmackDown is boring, says Jose. We're waiting for an answer on Jimmy's condition. I can give you an answer on it. Screwed. He's in big trouble. Michin. Michin doing some... Michin coming out doing a little bit of that. Yeah, I'm down for this little partnership right here. Can't wait for the crowd reaction when everyone hears I hear voices in my head, says Hannah. Should AEW create their own app called AEW Network where it's got Dynamite, Rampage, pay-per-views and more? If they did, it'd be a lot of money. Plus also, in all fairness, that's not what WWE used their network for. It never showed Raw and SmackDown. It's got old episodes. But TV money is way too important. So, no, they shouldn't. But they could create one that shows and houses the old content. But again, to be honest, even that is something WWE has sold. In America, it's not hosted on a WWE network. It's on Peacock because they paid like $1 billion for it. So I think in this day and age where you got so many streaming platforms, content is just so valuable that rather than building your own streaming service, just sell it. Sell it. Sell it to Disney, sell it to Peacock, sell it to Paramount, sell it to HBO Max, sell it to whoever. Babe Station, wherever. King Yeti said, the powers that be. Does that mean Vince Russo is back? Yes. Vince Russo's back. Vince Russo is back. Pat Patterson's back. Briscoe's back. Vince is back. Linda's back. Gorilla Monsoon's back. All the big wigs are back. It's very exciting times behind the scenes, King Yeti. Very exciting. Appreciate the support, dudes. Really appreciate it. And I'll tell you what else I appreciate. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or are you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. Boom. Right, let's go. Put in your scores. 5.5 says, yep, see, 7 says Hayden. 7.5 said WWE and AEW fan. Matthew C with a 6. Serge said 7, but only because of the chilies. They are good. They are juicy. Virus says 8. Inside Out and Again said 6. Niles said 7. Hodgepodge Fun said 5 because of Sheamus losing. Good show. 7.5 said AB Jobson. Zokiller with 4.5. Kieran with a 5.7. Encore with a 4. Greg with an 8. Trini with a 7. Jay with a 6.25. Jim with a 9. Wisp with an 8.5. Shaquem with a 4. X Music with a 6.5. Cebius with a 0. Seth freaking Rollins with a 7.5. Paulie with a 6.5. Hayden with a 7. Jose with a 3.5. Samantha with a 6. Zoom Station says, I bid 6. The Beach Kevin said, I think Disney should have bought WWE. They could have made a wrestling channel to air all of the content. Miss Clown says 4. Oof. Jay said 6.8. Stuttering Steve's with a 7. AD with a 7.75. Norma with an 8.75. Sam with a 6 crab legs out of 8 egg yolks. Tom said 0. I didn't see it. Seth said 7.5. Does Bray return during Edge's match? I'm leaning towards no. Travis with a 6.9. Spike with a 6.9. Trina with a 7.58 if Kross loses. Right, that match is now. Megan with a 9.5. All right, let's go. It is Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles. Let's go, baby. Let's go. The People's Executioner. AJ versus Karrion, and he wallops AJ. AJ goes flying down. Michin banging on the outside of the ring, trying to encourage AJ. Breaker. Karrion goes back a little bit, charges over, goes for a shot. Pele kick by AJ. Karrion is in the corner. AJ charging over, gets dumped to the outsides. Big shot coming in by AJ. Scarlett comes over, grabs the leg of AJ. Michin races. Oh my God! Massive boot to the head by Michin. Scarlett gets hurled into the barricades. Elbows coming in by AJ. Got a heavy shot to the back of the head there by AJ. AJ looking to springboard. Lovely. Phenomenal forearm. Kross goes down. And done. Kross does lose. AJ, man, that kick to the head was so cool. That was so cool. It was a really good camera angle. Look at this replay. Oh, boom! Man, I could watch that all day long. I could watch that on loop. Boom. In the words of Wade Barrett, boom. She is now the Hunted Rhea Rippers. Match flow. Match flow. We've got some match flow. Asuka. Oh, yeah, of course. Rhea's on Raw, isn't she? So this was last week, and watching last week's show was so annoying. I don't know what's up with Kross. I guess they don't see anything in him. I thought he would be pushed to the moon when I saw him in NXT, said Austin. So far, there's been about 12 minutes of wrestling, says Ron. Kross is dead, says Donye. Why did Roman and Kross never have a match? It was teased. They're both heels. Days has Mummy on his mind, I do, yeah. Sug said, I remember the days when Kross beat Drew on a pay-per-view. Why do they keep burying Kross? Says TJ Gillen. Well, they clearly just don't have anything for him at the moment. I mean, in all fairness, what I would say is if you're Triple H, and you bring someone back, You can bring them back and say, look, you know, do you want a job? I can give you a job, but to be honest, like, I'm going to need you to be putting people over, but I can get you on TV. You can have a steady paycheck. You know, Hit Row are going to take that. Tegan Knox is going to take that. Karrion is going to take that. Dexter Lumis is going to take that. Don't forget, these are all people that were released, that were cut. So, you know, this is, you know, a lifeline for them to just even be on TV. So maybe there's a bit of like goodwill in the bank because Triple H brought them back. That means that Triple H can, you know, use them to put others over and they're not going to be too down about it because the alternative is you can be unemployed. So I don't know, maybe eventually and hopefully eventually we get moving with Kross, but I could understand Triple H using a few of these to just put over some other people first that he wants to put over. But I mean, if you look at Kross and you look at Scarlett, I mean, there's definite potential there. Definite potential. And Triple H has got to... It's not even a case that he doesn't see it because he made Kross like champion, I think, a couple of times down in NXT. And like really like pushed him as hard as he could. So I think he does definitely see it. But as I said, for now, he's probably just telling a few other stories and it's just not the time yet. 40 minutes left to go. The Beach Kevin said Damian Priest was on the bump this week and he said there's no internal issues with the Judgment Day. They just were not on the same page. Do you think Judgment Day will turn on Priest? I think something will happen there, yes. Whether it's Judgment Day turning on Priest or whether it's Judgment Day turning on Finn, I'm not sure. But, I mean, Priest absolutely could find it. Now he's got money in the bank. He could absolutely find himself on the out. And then maybe we replace Priest with JD McDonough because JD's disappeared. Maybe JD McDonough's going to be the replacement. Chelsea Green came back and got tossed out in Tumble in seconds. She's taken what's been given and got over. I don't have sympathy for the rest, says Trini. Asuka is the hottest female in WWE, said Inside Out and again. Wrestle Dandy said we need Demolition Kross back. Do you know what? That would have been so much fun. I would have loved it if when he came out in all that kinky attire, they interviewed him and he was like, I love Demolition. Like, they are my inspiration. Like, you know, Axe, Smash, and Kross. And that's why I'm wearing what. And it, like, they'd properly. And he started coming out to their music. And he. Imagine if he had changed it. So it was like, here come the Axe. Here come the Smasher. And here comes Karrion. We're Demolition. Gonna destroy you. I would have had a lot of respect for that. I would have had a lot of respect. Axe, Smash, and Kross. It's quite close to Crush, you know, if you think about it. Quite close. And then you could have had Demolition coming in and it could have been really fun. But they're on the out, aren't they? And thinking about it. They're on the out. They were part of that concussion lawsuit. Like, things aren't great between Demolition and WWE, sadly. Coach Co says, taxi drivers have the worst job in America due to low income, limited employment growth, high stress, and an unfavorable work environment. That's breaking news. Okay, Asuka was saying a few words, and Bianca's come running down. And I needed to, Asuka and Bianca brawl. I'm sure we're going to be seeing Charlotte. Here's Charlotte. Charlotte, my God. She looks like she's just come out of Mork and Mindy. That's a pretty wild catsuit, isn't it? That is a pretty wild, sparkly, silver, full-body catsuit thing. Oh, Io wallops Asuka. Oh, this is sick. Oh, this is sick. Asuka gets planted into the briefcase. Is she going to moonsault from there? Oh, they had actually moved Asuka a little closer. Cashing in. Oh, Bailey was like, we're cashing in. Oh, no cash in. Big boot by Charlotte. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Charlotte looks like a Martian. Even Bianca's gone a bit Martian-esque. Io arrives. There's almost a cash in. Bianca's on the outside going, hang on. There was a lot of moving parts in that segment. I feel like that segment, Triple H went, right, I want you to fit in as much stuff as what Roman did, but I need you to do it in like 100th of the time. So, Io tried to cash in. What does this mean? Is this going to be a fatal four-way at SummerSlam? Asuka, Io, Charlotte, Bianca. She's got like a nasty bruise on her arm. Defcon Eric Pirate King Jack said, I guess Kojiko never worked at Crapplebiz. Kojiko, did you work at Crapplebiz, please? Please respond. Is it Edge now? What? On this day. Early retirement plans. Edge said, I don't think so. Edge versus Grayson Waller. I mean, I thought this would be our main event. It's only 25 minutes past. What's happening? What's going on? Only 35 minutes left of the show, and I don't know what the main event is, unless this is going to be a classic. unless they're going to give these two half an hour. Half an hour, and then we're going to need 5 minutes after. Oh my God. On this day, I see clearly. Wow, it's all going down. Leaving nothing to the imagination. Charlotte looked horrendous. Maybe Wyndham is coming. People be like, Bray will show up. Do you think Adam Cole will go back to WWE once his contract ends? He was a Triple H guy. Don't know, to be honest. Don't know. I mean, Brit's over there. His friends are all over there. I think he's making good money. He's going to be guaranteed to be a top guy. There are no guarantees. I mean, now that Vince is back... You know, Vince, like, retired, went away. He was never really fully away, but, you know, we know the situation now. He is going to be the head of this Endeavor company that's buying WWE, as the managing director of it. So that's, like, right up there with CEO. So, yeah, Vince ain't, you know, even this company that's buying it, Vince ain't gone anywhere. And the CEO, the other guy, Ari Emanuel, said that he'll just leave the wrestling stuff to Vince. So, I don't know. If I'm Adam Cole, I'm definitely, even if Triple H is booking, I'm definitely thinking there's a ceiling there for me still. Because we all know that Vince likes bigger guys. To be honest, it would be cool to see Bray and Edge at SummerSlam, but then Bray would have to come back as a heel, said Scott. Aubrey Evans said, I'm uncomfortable with how many wrestlers I've seen exposed over the years. Hogan, Regal, Charlotte, LA Knight, X-Pac. What do you mean? Tritium Cascade said, how crazy would it be to have the main roster match be against Edge? That is huge for Waller. Ric Flair in his last match had the common decency to wear a shirt. Why wouldn't Charlotte's? Well, I don't think you could see any nippleage, could you? Could you? Could you? What did you see, guys? What did you see? I'll have to go back and give it a watch. I mean, I was keeping a close eye, but I didn't see any nippleage. But I'll have a look. I don't know. I just saw her dressed as a Martian. I mean, that's where my head went. I was like, why does she look like sort of Mork and Mindy? Why does she look like a Power Ranger? Why does she look like the Disco Power Ranger? Fatal 4-way and Bailey wins, and then EO cashes in on Bailey, said Yipsy. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Trini says, chat, women have nipple. What? That has come as quite a shock, let me tell you. I don't even want to read the rest of that. I am uncomfortable with even reading that comment, right? It's right there on screen. If you want to read it, if you want to get your kicks off to that, then so be it. But not on my watch. Days, silver dollar size pepperonis. I'm dying laughing. Was there? I promise you, I did not see any. I'm going to check. I'm going to have to see what's happening on Twitter. Could you see some things, could you? I didn't see them. I'm doing my research, guys. I think it's very, very important that you always do your research when it comes to wrestling. I think if you guys are going to be kind enough to stop by and share your thoughts and theories, the least I can do is do my research. I am now currently looking at pictures of Charlotte from tonight's SmackDown to find out if nippleage was indeed on display. So far, I can't see anything, to be honest. I don't even see any pictures of Charlotte from tonight. Were they too X-rated, do you reckon, for Twitter? I can see a couple of pictures, but you can't see anything. Is Grayson? We're going to stick with this situation. Don't worry. We're going to stick with this. To be honest, there's only a few pictures of Charlotte from tonight that have gone on Twitter, and I have honestly really studied both very close. And neither of them can you see anything. Neither of them. Listen, don't let it be said I'm not willing to put the work in, right? I am here for you guys. I'm here to find the answers. Oh. I mean, there is footage, but again, you can't see anything. I mean, you can see the outline of the boobs. You can sort of see where the nippleage would be. Match is about to begin. Here's what we're talking about, guys. Yeah, that's what's being spoken about right now. Is there an outline there? Yes. Is there nippleage there though? I can't see it, but I could see where it would be. I'm more distracted by that. It looks like a love bite on her arm. Yeah, I don't know what Andrade's been doing. Look at the top of her arm. That looks like the old love bite, doesn't it? Very much. She's been having a good time. God bless her. God bless her. Let the debate rage on. Let the debate rage on. Yeah, lots of hearts being shown in the chat right now. Lots of celebrations as well. Well done to the over 700 people that got the result correct for Theory against Sheamus earlier. Well done. Well done. Right, we've come back from commercial break. It is Edge against Grayson Waller. What is it with everyone wearing silver tonight? Bianca was in silver. Charlotte was in silver. Grayson is in silver. I didn't say there was nippleage. It was Erase Your Mind that had that funny comment. Well, listen, even if there was just a little bit of doubt, I stepped up. I stepped up. I was there to really investigate and, you know, I think we've got an answer. She's wearing pasties. That's what people are seeing. But we all have nipples. I don't know why it's a big deal, says Trini. It's a big deal, Trini, because as a male, I think I speak for all males when I say we are perverts. Horrific perverts. I mean, however bad you think men could be on the perverted scale, you need to at least quadruple it, right? I mean, whatever you are thinking, it is not extreme enough, right? We are so perverted. It's not, honestly, it's borderline uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, right? So even though she was wearing pasties, as you call them, right? I don't know if that's their technical name, but yeah, that will be enough to get some of the young men that may have viewed those just fired up, raring to go, just like Lightning McQueen in Cars, right? Exactly like that. Amazing scenes. Facts, says Maggie. Facts, says Rames. Absolutely. I ain't saying nothing that no one's going to be disagreeing with you. Did you see how quickly I went to find the pictures? Oh, do you know what I mean? How often do I show moving footage on a stream? How often do we show video clips? Guys, I've got a video clip of it! I feel like it's a future for the streams, this is. Just full-on perverted streams. Let's go. Gotta give the people what they want. Ipsy said, Days, the possible showing from Charlotte is nothing compared to Becky showing a bit of calf in Saudi Arabia. Listen, if we want to go down this road, the absolute pinnacle was Bayley at Backlash, right? I nearly fell off my chair when she came down with like these trousers that had like just all bits cut out of them, right? Even round the back, yeah, even round the back there was like exposed flesh. That's not what Bayley does. That's not what Bayley does at all. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. The single greatest moment in the history of WWE. I've said many times, if people ask me what's wrestling all about, I would show them Hogan and Andre. But that changed in 2023 when Bayley came out in those trousers. And now I would show them that. So, it's been a big year. Have you been watching the third test? I have. Yes. And it's in the balance. I'm a bit worried about it. They be taken off the butt of women sometimes, says Juan. Let's go. Edge, says Aaron. Becky started the decline with the calf thing. Wow, that is true, actually. The calf thing was very shocking. That was very shocking. It bothered me as well. She kept that calf on display for so long. She easily could have rolled that trouser leg down, but she just kept it out there, didn't she? I think it was an act of rebellion. I think it was a political statement. No, LA Knight on SmackDown sucks. Nips shown. Best show ever. LA, LA, LA. We want LA. We want... Oh, it doesn't matter. Have you seen what Charlotte's wearing? What? What was we saying? Doesn't matter. Look at that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. What was we chanting? What was we... LA who? LA what? LA Knight? I don't remember him. Look at that. Wow. Triple H. Triple H. Triple H. Triple H's booking is the best. Do you remember when he booked Bailey in those pants? Do you remember when he booked Charlotte to wear that really revealing catsuit? Triple H's booking is goated. Right, we are back. We've got 22 minutes to go. Exactly, Days. It was so disrespectful. I wrote a very angry letter, let me tell you. Very angry. Okay, so Grayson doing a bit of trash talking whilst he's in control against Edge. Edge trying to power up to his feet. So Grayson Waller's main roster debut. I feel sorry for the disco ball that was sacrificed for the greater good, said Smurfy. Knee to the midsection. Horror King Mayhem said, I've given up on Bray coming back. If he does, he does. I think that's the best, honestly. I think that is the best and most healthiest way to look at it. If it's one of those, like, rather than just constantly getting your hopes up and being disappointed, if he comes back tonight, amazing. I don't think he will, but I mean, like, 20 minutes. I don't think this is going 20 minutes. But even so, if it happens, it happens. I mean, it could be it could be a plethora of different things, right? Big E might come walking out. He was on After the Bell where he said he's 100%, he feels 100%, but there's no timetable on his return. But Big E coming back doesn't feel too far away as long as they've got some creative for him. He could come back at SummerSlam. Randy could come out. The Rock could come out. John Cena could come out. Probably not Cena. But, I don't know. Or no one could come out. This match could just keep rumbling along. But yeah, I think that's the healthy way of looking at it. You know, if you are a Bray fan, he'll be back when he's back. Wow, sounds like SmackDown sucked. I can't watch it for another hour, says Victoria. I think it's been all right, you know. I think you got to watch it. You got to watch that Roman segment. I think the Roman segment's been really good. I think this second hour has struggled a little. Just because, well, I don't know. I mean, like, Edge against Grayson Waller's pretty cool. You know, I wasn't expecting to see Edge in a match. And this is Grayson Waller's debut. But the problem is it's come out of nowhere. So there's been no build. There's not really any heat to it. But, and I expect Edge to win. Big boot there by Edge. But I don't know. It's hard to be down on this. BB Yipsy said Mandy Rose was always showing an extra toe. Breaking news. Jay's back. That means Jay's going to say something to close the show. So, breaking news, Jay Uso has come back to Madison Square Garden. Surely they're only telling you that because Jay's going to come to the ring and he's going to call out Roman. Yeah. So what was the main event? What was it meant to be? Because this match got made by Edge. Crossbody, did they just rock up without a main event tonight? at Madison Square Garden. And they're like, something will sort itself out. It'll be all right. Something will sort itself out. Guys, the show's starting. What's our main event? It'll figure itself out. Are you sure? That's not how Vince used to do it. It'll be all right. Crowd's into it. That traitor Jay, said Scottish Nightmare. Kieran, shout out to you. You missed one of the comments of the night. JJB Gaming said nipple gates. Sounds like my dream gate, that does. Okay, Grayson with a forearm strike. Not for the first time, Dave, said Juan. Big boot there by Grayson. Over the top. Woof. Planting Edge. Grayson, 1, 2. Kick out. Yeah, that's nice. And he kind of... That would have been sick if he had beaten Edge that way. Forearm strikes coming in. Apparently, Bloodline segment was only meant to go 20 minutes, and they went over. Lol. I don't begrudge it. That segment was great. Hit coming in there by Grayson. Oh, he's in pain. Waller says he runs this, but then he's like... Shot to the midsection by Edge. Edge against the ropes. Oh, Christian goes... Oh, Christian. I've got Christian on the brain now. Edge goes down. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Edge. On another note, Riddle is expecting a child, said Victoria. Oh, well, that's nice. Before SmackDown finishes, who do you think will win between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, says Alan. I'll go Shayna. Because rumors are Ronda's leaving, so if Shayna's sticking around, give her the win. Give her the dub. Bray Wyatt, he's gonna puke. It's gonna puke. Shoulder up by Grayson. I'm not complaining, says Aubrey. Edge just got a Waller effect. Right, we've got both guys getting up in the corner. Grayson is kind of slumped. Crowd are into it. Edge looking out at the fans. Fans cheering away. Edge charging over. Grayson moves out the way. Edge goes into the corner. Grayson goes out the ring. He's going to look to go in through the ropes. Oh, he got speared. 1, 2, 3. The thing is, right, Grayson's gone for like one of his finishers where he goes and rolls through into like a DDT, but no one knows that. This is his first match, so no one knows that's his move. So it just looks like he rolled into the ring and got speared. So it's a win for Edge. Grayson is slumped in the corner. He's given Edge a good workout there. Giving him a good fight. Hey, Waller. You swam. I like that. It's a bit old school, isn't it? It's a bit like when The Undertaker kind of acknowledged John Cena backstage. Roman and the Chilies! Roman and the Chilies! Happening. Here's Heyman. Here's Heyman. Tribal Chief. Tribal Chief. Jey Uso is back. Jay's back. He's looking for you. Tribal Chief will be in the ring waiting for him, or the Tribal Chief has only got flipping 12 minutes. Tribal Chief ain't got long. Heyman tells Roman that Jay is back and looking for him. Drew and Riddle against Imperium. Oh, like a voiceover? Raw, live from Buffalo. Stop saying Bray is here. You're going to ruin the show for Tim. And Tim, I bet every time Tim reads that, he gets so excited. Cody's going to deliver a special message on Raw. Special message from Cody. I told you it's going to be Bloodline. Bray has retired, says Prince Moolah. TikTok. Where's Bobby? Where is Bobby? We want Carlitos, says Drew. Wisp said Bray does need to retire. Grayson Waller was awesome as FWA heavyweight champion. Those were the good old days, says Hippie in Long Beach. Did Edge and Grayson have a finish? Yes, Edge won. AB Jobson said, I've got floor seats for Monday. Amazing. Have a great time. Unless you see the man on screen repeatedly saying his name is spam, and you will get timed out, says Trini. If some sort of return happens, it needs to happen now. Smurfy said, is the special message that he's going to dress as the banana again? I hope so. That was a decent match, said Wisp. Do you think they could bring out another relative to join Bloodline? I don't think there is another relative at the moment. Not one that's ready. Austin said, thanks, Days. Days said, thanks, Austin. Funko Pop Asylum said, I'm going to Collision on the 22nd. Have a great time. Jamie said, Repo Man returns. Repo Man. That'd be fun. I would pop. Dimension X Tube Alive said, WWF, we want Fiend. Adam said, the show has felt sloppy. Scott said, we start with the Tribal Chief, we end with the Tribal Chief. Dominic said, will we see Carlito tonight? Doesn't feel like it. John said, but is a Cody special message as good as a Tony Khan announcement? Nothing is as good as a Tony Khan announcement. Apart from a Tony Khan hug. Tony Khan hugs are greater than Tony Khan announcements. That's facts. That is facts. So Cody can't compete with that. WWE needs to bring The Fiend back, Orton back, Alexa back, and act like nothing ever happened. Start at Mania match. Fiend lost, but make him win, and that's Orton's retirement. I don't think you can necessarily act like nothing has happened. But first of all, Alexa's pregnant, so that's not happening. Orton is injured, and we don't even know if he is going to return. Rumors, I mean, if he's done, he'll come back and say goodbye. But honestly, what kind of schedule he's going to be working going forward, what we're going to get out of him going forwards, I really don't know. It's been over 12 months since we've seen Randy Orton, which at this stage of his career is, you can't afford to lose that kind of time, you know? Roman's already in the ring, which is good because it would have took 8 minutes for him to get to the ring. So Roman is in the ring. But also, I think Bray wants to keep telling this Howdy story. I'm going to do this one more time. Let's do it. Madison Square Garden. Asuka, Bianca, title match next week. Acknowledge me. Usos. Okay. What's Jey Uso going to do? What? Solo's looking at the crowd. I think he spotted Jey coming down the steps. There's Jey. So Jey is walking down the steps at Madison Square Garden. So Solo jumps out the ring. Jey launches at Solo. Jey takes down Solo. So Jey started unloading on Solo. He grabs Solo, hurls him into the ring post. Oh, Jey, one of your brothers is in hospital. You don't need to send your other one there as well. So Jey attacks Solo. Roman's telling him to go. Jey with the chair. Jey with the chair. Wallops Roman with the chair. And Solo gets in. Super kick by Jey. God, how are these two so inept? How is Roman and Solo no match with one Jey? Man, he's battering that chair. He is battering that chair. Oh, man. You ain't getting a refund on that. He has absolutely smashed that chair over Solo. He has battered Solo. He's tenderized Solo. Chair is thrown on the outsides. That belt is in the ring. Jey picks up the championship. Gets the microphone. It's going to say. It's going to send shockwaves. It's going to send shockwaves. He's in the ring. He's got Roman's belt. He's got a microphone. Guess what? You looking at the judge, jury, executioner, trial by combat. Just me and you. One-on-one. Set my challenge so I can whoop your ass one more time. He wasn't very specific, though. I was expecting him to say SummerSlam. So Jay said he is Judge. Did he say he was Judge Judy? I think he said I'm Judge Judy. I'm Judge Judy and the Executioner. Executioner was a wrestler from the 80s. He's very confused. Jay is very confused. But he is Judge, Jury, and Executioner. This is trial by combat. Just me and you, one-on-one. Accept my challenge so I can whoop your ass. But he didn't say where or when. I mean, you do have to be specific. Can't just say, I want to face you one-on-one and whoop your ass, can you? You've got to say, where. Roman doesn't know where to go. Or when to be there. See, this is why Jay is going to struggle as tribal chief. You have to think of the details. I really thought he would say SummerSlam. I really thought he would say Sexecution. Man. I think that was Charlotte earlier, to be honest. I think she was the Sexecutioner. Certainly seemed like it to me. What you think, boys? Eh? Right, scores. I love everything about the Bloodline story, said J-Love. It's good. Really good. Just keeps delivering. I could watch. I could just keep watching. I'd quite happily watch an hour of Bloodline. If it was good. Everything was rushed between the opening segment and the Edge match, said JB. Ryan said 8. Zoom Station said 6. Alex says 8. Judge Dredd. Wisp with a 9. Michael with an 8.5. Wrestle with Andy said Days Cody being the next face of WWE is better than Jay, but Jay is the better option to dethrone Roman. Chris says 7.25. AD says 8. Seth says 8.5. Waldo says 7.1. AD with an 8. Ray with an 8.5. Y12 Kid with a 9.5. Lucifer with a 7. Mitchell said, yeah, I'll say that was a heck of a show. The Bloodline stuff dominated the show, but I enjoyed the Grayson match. I'll go 8. Your score. Little tricky because I think the opening half an hour is brilliant, right? I know some said they were bored. I wasn't. I loved it. I just keep feeding it to me. I'll take that all day, every day. I could have had double, right? And I know there was others going, oh, we've only had like a few minutes of wrestling on this show. Oh, man, I watch so much wrestling. I mean, there's so much wrestling on Raw and NXT and Night of Champions. And oh my God, I watch so much wrestling. It's fine. Like for this to be like so focused on story. I mean, to be honest, all you're doing is giving people what they want. The ratings are where they are because of the Bloodline story, right? They're not where the ratings aren't where they are because we just have match, right? So could there be a bit of a better balance of wrestling to story? Maybe. But I think if you tuned into this week's show, you got something pretty good out of Edge and Grayson Waller. I thought that was a good little contest. Grayson Waller's debut match, Edge wasn't expecting to see him compete. So, yeah, you know, that was okay. I would say, though, that there's a good hour, I reckon about half the show where it's a bit, maybe not even that, maybe 40 minutes. Because I thought, like, the potential cash-in moment on Asuka, I know it's only about 5 minutes in total, I thought that was pretty fun. Lots of moving parts there. But maybe, like, the AJ Styles match against Karrion, maybe you'd look at that and go, Maybe you would look at Theory and Sheamus as being not quite to the standard we were hoping for. And as I said, maybe there's about 40 minutes in there. It's a bit flat. But I love the open. The ending is really good. I enjoyed Edge and Grayson. I mean, I think I'd be harsh to be below a 7. I think there probably is just a bit too much that I can look at and say, 40 minutes is a good chunk of the show that you would want to see improved. That's why I don't think I can get to the 8s. So, Yeah, I'm in the sevens. I feel like I'm in the sevens. I'm normally in the sevens. Although saying that, I was in the eights for Money in the Bank, and recently I've been in the sixes. So that Bloodline segment at the start, I think, is so good. Really, that bit. I mean, like when we talk about images of 2023, moments of 2023, Roman being pinned will be one. But I really think that bit where there's tears, actual tears running down Roman's face as he puts the chilies over Jay and then takes the belt off, Velcro, throws it away, and then starts going down to his knees. And the crowd don't know how to react. Like, I need to watch it again, but I feel like some of the crowd are like, no. Roman is that heel that you sort of love to hate. You can acknowledge how good he is. Like there's plenty of people throwing up the ones, and you can acknowledge that what you're watching is one of the best stories we've ever seen. I mean, so good. I mean, this is compared to Undertaker Kane. It's compared to Stone Cold McMahon, right? It's compared to Bret Owen. It's that good. So for Roman to say he's done, that would be the end of this story. We would then start a new story with Jay, but that would be the end of this story. People aren't going to want this to end. This has been our lives for like 18 months or whatever, 2 years, 3 years. Actually, I don't even know how long it's been. I don't even know. When did Roman come back? It's been like 3 years. That's a long time. A lot of people have only watched wrestling whilst Roman has been champion. So for him to go, I'm done. I don't need this. I don't need the money. I don't need the power. I'm done. And for him to start, even I was there going, no. So I don't know, but just what an image, what a moment. So captivating. Super captivating. They needed a big segment for Madison Square Garden. I think they delivered it. That's bigger than what you would normally get. And for that reason, I think in the sevens, and maybe even getting to like a 7.5. But I do agree there's about 40 minutes there that you would go, oh, that could be better. That could be stronger. AJ beating Karrion in a match that just felt a bit cold. Sheamus and Theory should have been better as well. Should have been better. But, them's my thoughts. I don't think Roman should lose his title till Mania, said Alan. Bloodline has lasted. Young Heath Ledger is saying peace out to everyone. He did say SummerSlam, but it was very quiet, and he didn't say it clearly in the microphone, says Planet Dan. I'll have to watch that back if he did, because I didn't catch him saying anything. Take care, everyone. I am going off to play Earthworm Jim. Yes. That is the best reason I've ever seen anyone give for leaving. Dub in, dub out. Take care, everyone. I'm off to play Earthworm Jim on the Genesis. That is a goated reason. Right, let's end the poll, and I'm going to run off and start working on the video. So 8 to 10, 45%, 7 to 775, 36%, 6 to 675, 10%, 575 or below 7%. Tony tweeting 855 Dynamite last week with no NBA or sports. That is sad, said Big Time Baxter. Brony, the beginning of Bloodline started during Thunderdome when he beat The Fiend. Is Grayson Waller better than Austin Theory? Don't know, to be honest. I mean, I really like Theory, but I just think they keep messing around his creative. I just don't even know what he's meant to do with this current creative. Because there's just not really much to this, is there? There's no real angle to this. So I think they're trying to make him credible, but I don't know. They're not really giving him like great feuds. He's got this little thing going with Sheamus, but I need to see him like cutting some promos and actually saying something, you know? So it is hard because like at the moment you would say Theory's quite flat, but I don't even know if that, I don't think that's Theory's fault. I just think that they just got a bit of bad creative at the moment. If Jay isn't the one to do it, I'm not interested. Sorry, Cody, you've lost me, says Lemden. If possible, Brood Edge against Feed would be fire, says Sinan. Let's kill a shout out to you. I still don't get why none of the baby faces helped the Usos, but they were worried for them by the ambulance. Probably one of them, innit? I mean, like, it's difficult because I think the Usos have cost a lot of people matches. And so I could understand people not being that willing to, you know, get involved and help them out. But even so, seeing like someone being carted off in an ambulance, I could understand them coming to, like, you know, you don't want to see someone getting properly hurt. So I in my head, that's kind of how I justify it. Like, that's family business. Let them deal with that themselves. You know, Bloodline have been a problem in a thorn in many people's sides. So let them deal with it. But equally, you know, that's someone that has got a family and whatever. And so seeing them carted off in an ambulance, kayfabe, obviously. Seeing them carted off in an ambulance, I could understand that being like something the baby faces come out to, is he all right? Check on, you know? Right. But, I know people are over the Bloodline story, but I love it, and it'll be sad when it ends, says J-Love. Listen, ratings say people are not over the Bloodline story, right? There are some that are, and there are people in that chat that are, right? Some are, but there are plenty of people that are not. So you've only got to look at the ratings and how strong they've been this year, post WrestleMania as well, to see that Bloodline story is alive and well at the moment. And this was a big segment they just delivered. WWE announced Allstate Arena will host Survivor Series, says Adam. Right, we're done. Awesome. I'm going to off and do my little recap video, which I love doing, and people have said they find useful, so I'm going to go off and do that. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Thanks a lot for joining us. Don't forget, we are back tomorrow with UFC. It's going to be big. It's going to be long as well. That's a long stream. So we are back tomorrow with that. And yeah, really appreciate the support as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.